WINSTRIKE a little bit higher at 2.16. If you do want to get involved, if you do want to get those odds on your screens, you can check out our fantastic betting partner underneath the Twitch channel in the Twitch banners. 10 free CSGO spins and up to 100 euros bonus on your deposit. Jay, we're jumping into the pistol round. We've got a Kit and HE onto Forest. No utility up for, or I should say outside Nickelback, no utility on the T side. Insta molly out towards the hut position, but fast outside for the T side.
Yeah, exists second challenge on Nickelback. The IGLs facing against each other. Bonding moving in towards the locker rooms though. Takes face against several. Lackey swings on Holzerg. Takes the opening frag of the matchup here. Get Right responds though. Trades back on towards the players out here. Nickelback getting caught out to the squeaky door area as Get Right gets the kill on Lackey. Bomb plant secured. Cruising and a Lion. 4-on-2. Forest seen a Lion. Takes him down. Got Get Right next to face. Does not see the headshot angle of the man. And the Glock backed up here. Still taking face, seeing his contact. Can't quite get the kill on him though. The nade's baited in. He actually catches him in the midst of the air. Now Kristen towards Dark, hearing Freiburg make his way out. Taps up, sees two, takes the head. Freiburg taking damage, gets his kill. But a Lion forced to back up though as he bought enough time. He's baiting Freiburg into the position. Now going to go back to the back of the bomb site. He's got a kid as well. A Lion's going to face the raid. He's got no utility. Freiburg's got this one on lock. A Lion, he's not there in time. Yes, he is. Skin of his teeth, 3K to his name, and WINSTRIKE just secured a pistol round.
Oh my goodness, there were so many numbers from Dignitas too. They bring that back. That is such a huge round coming out from WINSTRIKE. Oh man, the Kit being down, sticking that bomb. WINSTRIKE, they get away with a pistol that, even though the bomb plant came through, they probably should not have been able to hold on to that post plant.
Good knowledge from Freiburg though, like knowing that a Lion backed up, knowing he could have potentially stuck that defuse, and if a Lion had made his way a foot further out of position, that probably would have been around there for Dignitas. Such a massive, massive result for them. And smokes up Holzerg towards the outside. Lackey dropping in. Taken out by Forest here. Simple Deagle through the smoke, opening things up on Lackey to kick things off.
Now, Hauser will be able to relay that information that he's hearing the footsteps towards a lower bomb site. Freiburg with a Deagle doing a hell of a lot of damage onto this T side, but it is down into a 4-on-4. Get Right, though, with the auto shotgun. Oh, the timing on this could be everything, especially if he opens up these double doors. But no, he wants to try and play a little bit more passive.
These shotties can melt through players. There's so many bottleneck positions here on Nuke. Holzerg takes face. Get Right. Got Nickelback close range. Shot, he's going to get closed out of position. Trying to take the long range fighting against the MAC-10. The MAC-10 wins it out. It's going to be a wasted shotgun for the CT camp. 4-on-3. Deagle still trying to chip away at the HP numbers, get some kills on their board, but nothing is going to be found by these guys. Aligned on 10 points of health. They are running the timer pretty low here. The bomb is yet to make its way onto site. It will do now with a smoke cross-cut buying some cover. Plant to be secured in the safe, covered off angles. And retake for Dignitas. Do they even bother going for this, or do they save their Kevlar?
They need to find a kill within the next 5 seconds or so. If they do, then maybe they go for it, but they need to be making sure that they're finding these kills pretty quickly because the timer's already run low, exist on 1 HP, but they haven't been able to trade out to Hauser. Finally, Kristen's going to be able to chime into the action and shut this round down. WINSTRIKE going to put 2 up on the board. Dignitas, they did so much damage. They were able to find so many body tags with those Deagles, but just not quite enough to be able to convert the kills.
Eco going to come through from Dignitas. No say in the matter. Got the knives out, standard stuff, USPs in. A couple of HEs for Freiburg and Forest. I don't know if they got any upgrade pistols. Yeah, no, basic stuff against the MAC-10. The AK is coming out in full. Quite a lot of investment here from WINSTRIKE after losing as many players as they did. I think they did get the 2 AKs in from the last round though, so it's not as bad as it could have been.
A bit of early damage for Lackey, but you've got to expect USP's probably 1 kill at most, shouldn't be too much more than that. And WINSTRIKE should be able to at least try and play some long-range duels, make sure that they're not getting up close and personal and allowing those dinks to come across. A lot of outside presence, actually, for the Ts to look to come through. And cross smokes have not come out just yet. Bonding to start up onto Get Right. Slowing it down, making sure they're checking out all the angles outside.
AK spray. Taps up from bondik, hoping to take somebody down. USP edge of the smoke. There goes a lion with the frag. A lot of damage being done to the to the T-side camp, I should say. The HP numbers are very, very low. Nickelback taking face, getting 2 kills. Leaving Hulzerg as the last man left. A 1-on-5 for the USP. And again, there are a couple of kills that could come easy, especially if he finds a lion or lackey, but no shot connecting to the Mac 10, so he gets himself a $600 bonus. From an AK for this next round, and DIGNITAS will be up on rifles all the same.
Looking to see if they can get involved in the situation here, DIGNITAS. They've got money to go for the AWP for Hulzerg if they want to, and yeah, of course they will. We get a little bit of body Kevlar for him and a flashbang. Still yet to find a kill on this CT side. And WINSTRIKE. For the most part, it's been pretty slow, pretty methodical. No upper sight hits coming in quickly just yet. And Nickelback putting in some early utility, at least towards that main position. Exists towards the top of hut, looking to see if he can catch off any of the players towards Squeak Door. And you've just got to think for WINSTRIKE in a round like this, where they'll realize it's the first gun round, is try and see if you can bait out as much utility as possible on that CT side, because there isn't really a lot. There's not even a kit for them to work with.
And even if you don't get away with the round, you get away with a hard bite back from the DIGNITAS squad. Be better if you can't concede any of those kills. I mean, DIGNITAS did not spot anybody early on. They had vision on Nickelback. I think it was exist on the hut position. Could see the foot of the man, but couldn't quite find the kill, and obviously could not respond to him. Smoke's going out towards the outside. WINSTRIKE with the early inside default to go back towards the outside play into the secret area. Gap for Freiburg to work with. He might see some players crossing. And there goes one. Spray does not do any damage, though. A little bit behind the man.
Into secret. Being a little bit silent about this, now starting to use a little bit of utility, hearing those footsteps. And DIGNITAS not really even rotating Hulzerg outside with that. Oh, that was an opportunity. At least getting in information that they've got a lurk on the T side, still outside.
Nickelback downstairs, opening up the decon door. bondik in with the AK-47 back down to the lobby area, just in case the Suits want to make their way in. But it's a bomb plant to their standard sort of back line behind the silo. B-side position. bondik does find exist. Freiburg can trade it, so 4-on-4. Forrest spotted out by a lion next. Does get a kill on the way back out. Freiburg traded. And they're keeping it even standing here, DIGNITAS. WINSTRIKE starting to lose a little bit of map control, eventually lose the man advantage here. Got a player at decon spotted out by GetRight, but the 2 CTs in the back have rotated away. GetRight will go ahead and join them, save their rifles. They can be happy with the damage done because the lack of the kit makes this retake too difficult.
Yeah, look, for WINSTRIKE, it was all about just wasting as much time as possible. They've been sort of making their way into this lower bomb site a fair bit so far on the T side, and all that really comes down to is we see bondik still in towards lobby, the CTs overextend to sort of wait if there's any kind of lurker, and it just buys more time, especially with the fact of no kits on that CT side, even finding a man advantage in on that retake around that ramp room, getting that 3-on-2, they just don't have the time to continue to go for it. WINSTRIKE starting things off on the T side in an excellent standpoint on their opponent's map pick. You've just got to think for DIGNITAS, maybe a bit of a change-up of getting a little bit more aggressive, because WINSTRIKE have been so damn passive on this T side and have not been punished by any over-aggression on the CT side.
Spay through, damage being done to no one here. It's despite all the utility being placed up here, the nades and the Molotovs in particular. Finally, Nickelback starts entry. Freiburg there in the midst of the smoke, extinguishing the Molotov that went out there. Nickelback will get the kill blind with a flashbang. 5-on-4, he's very, very low. GetRight will drop in. Nickelback's going to get the info out. Crazy will fall to the orb. He's so low, but so is the positions. GetRight finally responds to it. 3-on-3, Nickelback down.
Oh,
Lackey
the bomb!
next to fall. The bomb dropped in vents as well.
Oh, that's so awkward. I don't know how you recover this now. Forrest has been able to drop that bomb in the vents position. bondik and a line now to bring this back, and I'm even surprised they try to go for that vent dive. They had pretty much so much control in the upper bomb site as it was. Only really needed to deal with GetRight on the floor, and from there, that was it. A wide swing coming out. A line and bondik need to find some unbelievable jewels to bring this back. Now it's a 2-on-2.
That's a start. Back downstairs though, Lion has the existence of Exist and takes him out as well. It's all left to Forest. Do they know that he's here in Vents? They've got no utility. They have to challenge him directly. Bonding is best to take this face. Where are they going with this? Outside the secret for a wraparound? This is going to take too much time.
Well, the thing is, they drop in events at Suicide, especially with how low both of those players are. They need to make a play, and Forest, when is he going to hear these footsteps? And trying to, at least that smoke in towards Ven gives away his position, but he needs to just waste as much time as possible.
10 seconds left. They can't get a plant. They've got to hunt Forest down. Top end, spray through on the line, takes it back, turn to Bondic, and it works for WINSTRIKE. Just by the skin of their teeth, although I love the presence of mind to make that call. Eventually finding Forest. He was the one that broke first. He was the one that gave the info up to WINSTRIKE, gave away the element of surprise, and therefore gave everything they needed to win the fifth.
And you kind of think of, like, Ven, it's very similar to Pop Dog on Train, that you can't, like, sort of double boost down. It makes it so much more difficult. And just, they don't really have any options there. If they drop in events, it just makes it so much more difficult. Yeah, they're wasting more time going to Secret, but it works out really nicely in the end. Now, for Forest, if he would have just gone up the ladder after he would have heard those footsteps from Secret, he probably wins that round because there's no time to get the bomb plant through. But look, he tried to play it the best that he could. In the end, WINSTRIKE were able to get their fifth, and that's why we're now seeing a tactical pause coming out for the Dig side. Bit of a slow start on CT for them. It certainly was a very close last round. And they don't have a great amount of money, so you'd expect this to just be a half buy. No, okay, they are actually forcing the issue here. I suppose they don't want to sort of let the momentum continue to WINSTRIKE. They want to see if they can find an answer back straight away. But when you look at the buy, yeah, you've got the AWP and the M4 out, but you've also got a FAMA, an MP9, and an XM. I'm not sure about this decision.
And they are looking to win this round right here, and they don't have much by comparison to do it with, as you mentioned, SMGs alongside a FAMA. And the XM1014 is a bit underrated in my opinion. Again, I've mentioned how much I love it so far here on Nuke. So seeing it come out here towards the B halls and the bottleneck positions, Get Right's currently placed over towards the ramp entrance. So if they all make their way in from ramp, it can melt through every single rifle, but for now, it is just passive default set from WINSTRIKE towards outside at this stage. Smokes go down, no contact established by Dignitas.
Very slow from WINSTRIKE once again, all grouped up outside. 5 players are here. Now, what could be awkward is if Dignitas start to maybe get aggressive out from A and clear out the lobby position. WINSTRIKE are putting all their eggs in their one basket out from outside.
Blackie, Mac 10, first contact towards the locker rooms and held positions. Get Right and Holzerk will move close. Start aggressing as they realize the lobby is completely clear. You're right. 40 seconds. They can make their way in towards the A site in theory. They have a bit of resistance to do this. Get Right's getting closer. Right up here with the XM. Gets himself only one. Holds up with the AWP. There to support doubles up. Has got Nickelback left with the bomb. And the flashbangs time well to force the AWP to miss. A 4-on-2 however has been gained. But a Dignitas held control. But the FAMA still on site. This force buy could still work out for them. Exist in the back. Sprays through. Does damage to both. A Lion on 3. The SMG burst will keep them stalled for a little bit more time. He can't quite get Nickelback, but the AWP is in position. Damage done to Holzerk. Freiberg gets a Lion, and Nickelback dead to rights.
And see, that's the thing, is that when you're going outside and it's that slow and you don't have a lurk, you can give up the lobby control, and that's exactly what happens. Dignitas start pushing out through lobby and they go, right, no one's here. This has to be a wraparound outside. They have a great crossfire being set to deal with the outside wraparound into hell. The XM and the AWP finding so much impact. And WINSTRIKE, this is something that now Nickelback has to be relaying to his teammates to say, right, if we want to go for this outside of play, again, we either need to be a little bit more quicker or we need to have a lurk.
Oh, peeking from a Lion, ready for that contact play, but his AWP was not in the right position. His pre-aim was not all that great. Shot not connecting. Quick kill comes in from Holzerk instead of the AWP. Opening things up for the big green gun of WINSTRIKE, and that's a big loss to take there for the T's.
Yeah, look, that was a really nice AWP duel coming outside from Holzerk. Even got Forest in quite an aggressive position. Holzerk playing a little bit further back now. WINSTRIKE going back to the basics, back to what's been working for them for the majority of this T side, the outside presence. Oh, spam coming through. So much damage done onto Nickelback.
Holzak has had a kill on Lackey next. Exist gets 2 kills. Headshots through smoke. Nickelback, only player that successfully crossed. And there is a gap in that smoke put up there by the WINSTRIKE side that Dignitas are able to exploit every time. They saw them crossing the first time around. This is the first round they actually got the damage for it, though. Tagged up Nickelback, 2 kills on his backup. Holzer getting 2 kills also in the entry, opening parts of the round. Opening up the door against Get Right. He'll close out the round and get to the Dignitas board. And it's what a confident way to do so as well. So many rifles lost for WINSTRIKE.
And rifles, you can obviously open up some rifle cases over at our good friends over at hellcase.com. MaltaV and MaltaV15, a couple of codes that these guys are giving everyone at home to use. A little bit of cash on your account and a 15% refill bonus. Yeah, you're kind of right, Jay. They are making some mistakes in terms of the utility outside. There's been a couple of rounds now where we've seen a slight little gap in those outside smokes. Dignitas starting to come into their own now. Getting a couple of rounds in a row means that they have been able to distinguish the economy from that T side. Just going to be an eco. And pretty much just Glocks. Hardly any upgrades. Maybe, what, 1 Deagle? 1 Deagle and 4 Glocks. That's all they've got.
Ops challenging again towards the outside position for Halzerg. Can't quite land his kill on Lucky this time. He's a bit more mobile than a Lion is. It's very hard shots to hit, to be fair, right? Like
yeah, they are.
Backing up a little bit to get more breathing room and get more pixels, but you can see how passive they are. Just playing games with Halzerg at this stage.
Like the whack-a-mole, you know, they just keep peeking up every now and then. And Halzerg's just gone, yeah, no, I'm out of here now. Playing a little bit more passive. The AWP still not connecting. There it is. Finally, Halzerg is going to be able to follow up with a couple of kills. That's what we want to see. And Kristen's just with his knife out in the vents. The bomb tries to make its way out from Hut. Not going to happen. That's what we like to see. We like it when the shots hit.
He got there in the end.
Yeah.
I do love the whack-a-mole comparison, though. That is actually like a really accurate sort of way to describe how their heads were just sort of peeking up and down.
Great carnival game. Absolutely loved that as a kid.
I hated it, man. It's so
really?
annoying. No.
Like you get they all look like Diglets.
They do, actually, you're right, but I still hate them. 3 in for the CT camp, or the AKs that were saved for Dignitas. They have gained so much out of the last few rounds. Against the AKs back at the WINSTRIKE side, the rebuy comes through. They're getting semi-aggressive here. Look towards the vent area, oh sorry, the ramp area for Get Right in particular. He's pushed up so far as towards the ramp entrance. Does back off a little bit. The T's putting utility down here towards the outside positions, and they're going to look towards an inside commitment from Squeaky and Mini.
Now they'll need to deal with, what is that, Forest? It's very close. No, it's Freiburg very close towards that vent position. Forest does go down outside, and now Freiburg's position's been seen. Oh, the spray transfer to get a couple of kills. Drops that bomb too, and now Dignitas start to over-aggress out from lobby. A Lion and Nickelback to try and bring this back. Exist, may get caught in the back line, so that's an advantage now being found.
Well, Nickelback getting caught off by the AWP, though, so a Lion is the only thing that remains. Could catch Freiburg here in the vents area. AK. Back's turned, back's turned. Both players have walked right past each other with no information. Decon door is closed, though, so Lion's got to find a different way to work inland here. 40 seconds. And now he does hear Freiburg. I think he made a footstep noise towards the outside of Secret. So to get this exit frag and save the AK is the Lion's best bet. He's not leaning in towards the bomb plant position. I mean, if he can make his way like into the into the ramp backstab, there's a way you could potentially pick apart the 2 players that are there. Isolate the 1v1s and Get Right and Halzerg.
No time, though. That's the
no
thing.
time.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? He leaned towards Secret, so he made his bed in the end. To get the exit frag, damage done to the CT basis. It should still be a confident buy coming in from Dignitas in the next round, though. WINSTRIKE, the same can't be said for them. Only 1 AK saved, not enough money, not enough loss bonus going in.
Yeah, 2,900 going into that next round. The bomb plant would have helped them, but again, still probably wouldn't have been enough for a buy. Get Right. That was absolutely massive. Huge spray transfer. The fact that he drops that bomb too. Lucky should have been able to find that trade, but the spray transfer, that second kill came in so quickly. And you've got to think for WINSTRIKE, that's like an eye-opener there to say, right, okay, yeah, we know who we're up against now.
Veterancy does pay off in the end for Dignitas. The results might not speak of it, but right now in this matchup, they are having a time of their lives. Half by coming through from the T side to back up the AK without committing full frontal to the economy basis. The Eagles set in, sprays from Get Right. Gonna try and hold off against them here. The incendiaries and flashes do come back out. I think there's a smoke actually towards ramp. Forest hearing footsteps to his left-hand side, knowing the players are here towards the ramp room. As soon as he swings, just got to get these kills. Finds Lackey, does not land the kill shot. Does get a tag in though.
Gives up the ramp control, so a bit of information is being brought over for Dignitas that it's probably a play towards the lower bomb side. Nickelback just lurking outside, may be able to catch off one, but no, it's actually Lackey that takes down Get Right to find the opening kill.
The Eagle does swing, catch the AWP, and now trouble starts to brew. M4 Forest observation does find one frag, quickly align. Attacks and aggressives to the flank, Forest and Exist. The last two players left. I don't think they can make their way in from here. Exist has made his way downstairs to the vents area, but he's now backing right back up to the A site. Both players going to grab the AWP, save the weapon. And it will be 6 to the board of the WINSTRIKE side.
And I tell you what, that is something that I haven't really thought about today. But in the playoffs so far, Jay, we haven't really seen any sort of like half-buy, force-buy victories. That was probably one of the first that we've at least seen in the third and fourth game. A WINSTRIKE really didn't bring much into this round, and they get away with absolutely everything. If they take down Exist, this could be massive from Crizzen. Exist is going to be able to stay alive, but you've got to think the T's are hungry. They want to keep hunting.
He's back to try and stop them from making their way up. Maybe get an exit frag. No, Exist just stays alive with the damage done to the T-side players. But 3 free rifles. Well, technically 2. The AK came in from a line in the last round. But AK for Lackey, M4 for Bondig. Didn't have to buy into those. Crizzen and Nickelback could buy through. They could afford the AWP and swap it between Nickelback and a Lion if they wanted to. Opting against that option, though. WINSTRIKE. Full sets of rifles across the board. Nickelback wanted the utility. That's fair. And again, heavy investment from Dignitas, plenty of money built up. Probably another buy to come through on a force-back basis in round 12. But for round 11, it is the full set of M4s, the AWP. And contact established the default place from WINSTRIKE. Passive as usual for this team.
Aggressive from Forest outside. And seeing if he can maybe find an opening kill. At least hearing the footsteps onto Nickelback. Now, we haven't really seen any aggression from the CT side outside. Nickelback, what? How does he win out that fight, Jay? As soon as he swung around the corner, he was dinked, and he still survived on 10 HP. The power of the AK versus the M4. That's the best answer I've got for you in that one, Like, simple headshot is all Nickelback needed, despite, as you mentioned, taking a lot of the early damage. Flashes in. Utility set to the execute. Freiburg catching another flash in the face. Get Right still set towards the ramp entrance. Will burst through. Nade up, lands a bit short. Bounces back towards him instead. Flash will keep the first contact player blind, but WINSTRIKE are basically full commitment towards the B site here. Yeah, they're taking this ramp. Now, what they've done, at least a little bit, is taking this ramp control and then maybe trying to see if they can fake a little bit, see if they can get some movement. Now, Exist has pushed very far aggressive into Squeaky. He's got to make a big play here. In a man disadvantage scenario, especially with the rotates towards this lower bomb side, he's got to be able to find a couple of kills, but it's not going to happen. Dignitas might even save now, Jay. Crizzen read it. They've done their homework. Freiburg still up in the rafters, drops off, and in the end gets taken out by his own right. 4 on 2. With Holzerk and Get Right, the last 2 players standing, the bomb plant coming through towards the heaven area. And this will be 7 for WINSTRIKE. It's clear they've done their homework to read Exist like that, to know who's going to play that position. Like, they had a good beat on what they were doing there on the CT side. Yeah, and we saw it in the previous game too, right, on Nuke, where we saw a lot of the time for Forza, they would sort of establish that ramp control, then go back into the lobby play. A very smart read coming out from Crizzen, just having an idea to even check that position onto Exist. And Dignitas had rotated so many players to that lower bomb site. They only had Freiburg to try and assist from heaven. But outside of him, they really didn't have too much of a defensive hold to A. WINSTRIKE, 7 rounds now put up on the T side. And for Dignitas, the economy's starting to look awkward. They'll still be able to get a buy-in going into round 12. But WINSTRIKE have been able to put up a stellar performance, I would say, so far. This is now, what, the 2nd tactical from Dignitas? I believe so, yes. Either that or WINSTRIKE took one in the early game, but
I mean, I understand for Dignitas at this stage at the moment. Like right now, the issues cropping up for them are very, very concerning, I feel like. If you take a look at the context of the stats behind this map, consider that Dignitas, one of their most won maps in the pool, WINSTRIKE had got 0% win rate in the last 3 months. To having that on the board, like, you know what else, Jay? For WINSTRIKE to have this T side is just incredible stuff, and that's concerning for Dignitas.
Yeah, about that T side, they've won in terms of a win percentage out of all of like the 15 rounds on T. They win 31.7% of rounds on T, and they're already putting up 7 rounds. Is a fantastic sign to sort of see what WINSTRIKE can do going into this second half. Looking to try and extend it even further. Finally, double AWPs coming out from Dignitas. We're seeing Get Right on the AWP. A little bit interesting there from Dignitas to change it up a bit.
Exist bursting through with his M4, trying to get some tag damage or kills on players down at Squeaky. No such contact will be found. Taps burst in with the AK-47, the AWP towards outside is watching for outside control. For now, it is WINSTRIKE just setting up those outside positions, hoping for a first pick here in the inside areas, but nothing established by the T side just yet. Holes up, angle set, 2 players ready to receive. They make their way out, is going to be first contact.
Is there a flashbang to peek with? Smoked off. The smoke going to come down. How's it going to try and work on the edge of it? Jiggle peek coming out. Nickelback's going to go down. So an opening pick being found with the sort of set variation of the smokes outside this time around to try and get some garage presence through. A line just waiting for the re-peek to come out from the heaven position. But WINSTRIKE maybe trying to go for a split into this A bomb site. You've got to think with all of this outside presence, trying to get into heaven is their best bet.
30 seconds. Lucky makes his way up to the heaven entrance. They are running dearly out of time, though. They've got to act quick about this. They want to make their way into the site. Bomb up, holds up, close flash in. AK spray from Lucky takes him down. Flashbang in towards the site. Exist still here towards top of heart. Takes the face on 1 and doubles up. Makes it a triple as Freiburg gets Bondic elsewhere. What a round. What a sequence from Exist.
And I tell you what, WINSTRIKE set themselves up really nicely. We saw the flash coming in from Lucky, dealing with Holzerk, but from there, Exist comes absolutely massive. There's no molly out to that hot position. 3 kills, fantastic work from the in-game leader of that Swedish lineup. Wow, that was a really big play to come out from Exist. And WINSTRIKE, maybe it was the fact of running that clock a little bit too low, weren't able to trade evenly on towards the site anchors. A big round coming out from Dignitas.
Big round coming in from Exist in particular. Again, massive 3K for him, and Dig. Hold control of the A site, hold control of this half here. Not going to let WINSTRIKE get away so far with an 11-4. 10-5 still on the table, though. So long as they can respond to what Dignitas have to bring to the table here. Double up setup in particular. A lot of investment coming from Dignitas. They need to come up green in this round.
Yeah, they certainly do. WINSTRIKE. Now, the outside presence has been successful, at least in the past, in terms of map control. And Dignitas have certainly struggled in being able to sort of contest the T's outside. Holzerk being pushed further and further back, and even Freiburg's position's now been seen. Oh, the AWP goes down to Lucky. That is a huge duel for the T's to win.
That's WINSTRIKE buying some outside control, looking on towards the heaven area. AWP of Get Right still watching for these guys. But did someone face him in the door in a moment's time? It'd be right to assume that, but they're still waiting very carefully about this. Oh! Shot gets Nickelback. That's a response from the AWP.
Yeah, that's big. That's really big. But Freiburg, he's looking for a little bit too much, and Bondic's going to punish him for it. Then going back into a 4-on-4, a huge play to come out from the AWP of Get Right, and now it's all starting to fall apart. Exist is going to get taken out, and this has to be a save. Surely there's no way that Forest and Get Right can get back involved, and Bomb Plan going into the upper bomb site, and they're still standing around, Jay.
Well, Forest was spotted there from the heaven area. It's going to get the information that he's definitely at Squeaky. Get Right also firing. They know that they're there towards lobby. Out Marshmallow. The Molotov will not burn the man down, though. Forrest's going to keep most of his HP. Set and ready. AWP shot missed out. Forrest couldn't take him down, but force him off angle. Sees the player up heaven, takes him out instead. Crimson going to get faced in, dealt with by Get Right. They can get to the bomb. Flashbanging against the line. Molotov to try to force him back. Both T's are held here. They can stick it, but Get Right not holding. Still watching out from heaven. They've got to go for the entire thing right now. Forrest burns the Lion, and they've won it here. Bondic can't get to heaven in time. What a massive blunder from the site defense. A couple of baited shots. Dignitas had no right winning that round.
And that's where the experience comes through. In a 2-on-4, the way they reposition themselves, the way the flashbangs come up, the timing is just absolutely fantastic. And that bomb's just not planted for the main players. It's planted for heaven, and no one's there. Bondic tries to relocate, but it's already too late. That is a massive round for Dignitas. And I was a little bit surprised that they stayed around for that long, Jay, but they make that retake work.
M4's in. Exist going to smoke out here. The squeaky control established by the CTs. Look at Nickelback straight swing in there with a flashbang. Freiburg and Exist managed to knock up the 3 kills. Lackey will trade back on towards them, but Holzerg so quick to respond. Over in an instant for Dignitas. It's a Lion left alone to lick his wounds. Probably go down here in the next few moments because he's not winning this round.
Yeah, and look, Moneyline's going to look a bit awkward for the Winstrike side, especially with no bomb plant. And Nickelback, he's got a lot, but for the rest of them, they don't really. Dignitas being able to pull up some really great work to be able to at least tie up the scoreline, and even thinking about trying to take a lead going into the second half. And Nickelback drops an AWP. That means he's going to have no armor in this round. So that was a big, big purchase to give it over to a Lion. They need to make sure that this is working.
Khalil, AK. Smoke set, Bondic. Gonna find something out here, but nothing will be received. Exist back towards the corner. This duel, as soon as the smoke clears, will be crucial. It's Holzerg that gets a Lion. The door's still closed, actually. I would have thought the Bondic would have opened it, but no. Frenchy starts walking away as the first frag has gone the way of Dignitas at the moment. It's going to hear some information from Exist, but not that much all in all.
And that AWP getting taken down from a Lion means that now Nickelback has to pick it up, not known really for his AWPing abilities. A nade up to open squeak door to give a line in for Nickelback, waiting for a bit of an overextension, but the re-smoke to come out from that CT side from the Heaven player means that they can just buy more time on this defensive hold to the A-bomb site.
Nades up, Exist. That smoke in. 45 seconds to the clock. Holzerg, AWP set, expecting the bait shot, connects the leg onto Nickelback. WINSTRIKE again forced down to very low timers here. Smokes in, re-smokes down from the CTs as well, going to block them off for even further time. Exist right there in the corner. Will they try and take him out? 30 seconds. Get Right's moves in. Spray through the M4, doesn't get much. Freiburg does catch Holzerg here. Forrest eventually takes out Lackey to hear the vent dive coming through. They might be able to take down one player. The bomb gets dropped though by Crimson, and that's round over. Had to rely on him to get the bomb plant. They should have left Bondic back there towards the vent area. And just deal with the ramp as it comes. For now, though, it's an 8-7 scoreline. For Dignitas to close out the CT half.
And look, that's really not massively expected that WINSTRIKE don't win out the half, considering the fact that they, on track record, don't have a fantastic nuke. Now, we have seen a couple of overtimes. They took Simon to OT, they took Level Up to OT, but it's the last two results on nuke that really sort of make a big statement. A 4-16 loss against Simon in week 6, and a 6-16 loss against Contact in the FunSpark closed qual. So they haven't been able to put up some at least close results. Yeah, you had a couple of OTs, but look, it's a map that they don't play very often, so I think getting 7 rounds on T, they've already been able to put up a big helping advantage going into the second half, but they need to get off to a good start. They need to be able to win out that pistol and get some momentum going forward.
Dignitas coming out on top here. Looking in towards their T side is where the real challenges can pick up. For WINSTRIKE, obviously, they've set themselves up with such a good basis on a half. They had no right contesting, and they have brought the odds much closer than they were at the beginning of the game. Certainly brought their chances much closer than they were at the beginning of this map. The defuse in for a line, double flash for him, utility for Holzerk, and get right nades and a single flash smoke and HE. The flashbang also being used to enter out of the squeak area. Meanwhile, T-side down into the ramp room. They don't take the kills, they don't take contact. Bondic here with the USB tapping through, sees Forest, takes him out. Freiburg comes up lucky here with one frag and two headshots up the whole from the triple. Get right's right there, taking a frag back against Nickelback, who does defend himself and secures the pistol for WINSTRIKE.
Oh, but it's the youngster, Lucky, really showing up. Man, those shots were fantastic. Bondic just trying to sell as much of a distraction as possible, and he just kept lining them up one by one. Even for Get Right, his attention's pulled away onto Nickelback. What a pistol round coming out from WINSTRIKE. And for Dignitas, they established some ramp control. They forced Krizen sort of back into that lower bomb site, faked it out, went back into lobby, and there were 3 players there from WINSTRIKE. They did not move off to rotate to lower. Ooh.
Follow up from WINSTRIKE to come through on the eco round. Nade damage being done. The scout does get caught off, but Nickelback are there to keep his teammate alive. Bondic the same here on Forest and Freiburg. Both players going to go down early. Taps up, scout shot from a line, gets Get Right next. Holzerk moves in with the Glock. Can't quite take him down. Krizen comes up next. Exist, all that remains. 1 versus 5. This will be round number 9 for the CT side. WINSTRIKE to take control of Dignitas to start things off well on CT.
And for Dig, it's only an eco, so they'll be able to get the rifles up going into round 18. I wonder for WINSTRIKE, how many of these weapons are they going to still hold on to? Are they going to upgrade any of these SMGs? They've certainly got the chance to do so if they want. Can still take it as a bit of a bonus round. Swapping the rifle over between Lucky and Bondic. Bondic thinking, okay, I kind of want the MP9. A Dig, though, coming in to the first rough round of the second half. J, 4 AKs and a Galil up for Get Right. Outside smokes being lined up early. And I wonder if WINSTRIKE are going to put some aggression outside. We're seeing Nickelback straight away trying to get into secret.
Ready to receive. AUG. Smoke's going down from the T side of Dignitas. Burst through, Exist being seen there towards the red box. Nickelback still trying to find this man. Spray back, Exist gets the kill in the end. AK headshots much better. And gains secret control, outside control, all sorts of control for the Ts.
A bit unfortunate there for Nickelback. Had a couple of flashbangs from his teammate to try and get him out of that secret position, at least trying to take a fight into Exist. Doesn't come through. It works out in favor of the Ts. And Lion's been spotted with that scout. And taken out from Forest. Now a 5-on-3 advantage. There's so much outside control. Forest even being able to deal with Krizen. And, well, this round's pretty much all but over now.
I think the FAMAS was seen there outside Squeak door. Bondic will definitely not be seen inside here towards the hot position. Lucky drops that bomb. Doubles up for it. Bondic gets dropped now. Lucky turning it to a 1-on-2. 3 kills to his name. On 4 and ace clutch. But Holzerk shuts him down. Too low on the HP. And therefore, we stand at evens. Response coming back from Dignitas on T, but will the rebuy come through from WINSTRIKE? Yes, it will. Should have expected that. Rifles in, Kevlar. SMG for Lucky will prove to be difficult, but it is going to be a buyback.
And that's the thing, right? They don't upgrade any of those weapons in that last round. There were 2 MP9s and a scout out. So the fact that they don't upgrade any of them, take it as a bonus round, means that they'll be able to reinvest going forward. Lucky is certainly showing up on the CT side, having a huge amount of impact. I really need him to be showing up to be more consistent over the course of the rest of the map, rather than just a few rounds here or there. Outside control from Dignitas, the same sort of setup that they did in the last round. This time around, though, Nickelback's not playing in secret. Actually, no one's really playing outside.
Oh, super passive right now. The only player that's really playing that position is a Lion from Heaven. Which, you know, is he playing outside or is he playing from Heaven? He's playing from Heaven. You know, like, you can rotate back towards the ace side. That's the whole point of playing that position. Letting all the players cross because he can't contest, he can't see them. No scouts set. Flash in, M4 sees Freiburg. Freiburg takes him down immediately. Got Krizen there for the quick response. Several players pouring out. Could line up a few, but only doing damage to Holzer. Get Right comes up. Bondic trades the man back. Freiburg on 2 points of health. Susceptible to trade, but WINSTRIKE just wanted to pull back and save. Makes sense at this juncture. losing most of their players. No kit on either one that stays alive. I don't think they brought a kit into this round either. So 10 to the board of Dignitas, losing the early pistol, but converting back and finding their way in with the rifles.
Dignitas, just some really great raw aim duels towards that lower bomb site. Even Get Right being able to be the lurker in that round to the upper bomb site. Going 1-for-1, and WINSTRIKE just holding on to these couple of weapons. Bondic and Align try and bring them into the next round. Now, they won't be able to force once again, but they will be able to upgrade a couple of sort of pistols around it. 2400 in the next round. Even that, though, like upgrading pistols, it means that you're only going to limit your buy, so they probably won't upgrade a lot, if anything. And Dig, though, taking back the lead, getting to double digits. And you've got to think, especially with the factor that WINSTRIKE are in, where they've been able to sort of win pistol when they're anti-eco, but then sort of be shut down. They're now economy shut down. This is really the opportunity where Dignitas can come into their own, start to build up a bit of a T-side economy, and start to build up a bit of a lead.
Oh, M4 of Alliance sees exists towards the silo. Could not get the frag on the man. Does get damage to force him away, though. Get Right again. Open things up on Lackey, one of the pistol players here for the CT, so not too much of a loss. Bondic and Kristen set to the crossfire. Kristen to play, it's a bait, and Bondic to get the frags here. Freiburg taking face around this corner. Backs turn, sees his man. Kristen gets the frag for it. Holzberg turns around. Bondic gets a kill, but couldn't double up. As Forrest deals with Nickelback as well. Lion's left alone. 1-on-3. Does he save his weapon? Does he go for some damage? I think the safe call is what's going to be in effect, because all three are held out towards ramp. He's out in secret. Opposite ends of the map. Dignitas should be on for 11.
A little bit expensive. Good trades coming out to that ramp entrance. Dignitas going into the upper bomb site. And yeah, for a Lion, you know, trying to hold on to this M4. Actually, could take down Forrest considering how low he is. 1v2. Now he might try and take his chances.
Back up looking towards heaven, though. Does he... Do you think it might be the B side, perhaps?
He's thinking about it.
He hears the tone of the bomb plant. What's the approach here? No, he's got to be saving. He's going back to observation. He's saving. This is a safe call.
Maybe see if he can recover a weapon out from ramp. I wonder whether Dignitas sort of like threw them away. There's not really too many areas, especially around ramp, that you can sort of hide those weapons. You'd have to sort of carry them all the way back to the T-spawn entrance and then throw it over the fence. So he may be able to get an AK. And yes, that's what he was looking for.
Big rifle here for the man. M4's up. WINSTRIKE goes with a buyback here with a Line saving that AK. MP9 for Lackey means it's not going to be a fantastic buy, but you can see what the safe call did do. Enable 4 rifles to come through for WINSTRIKE. Needing to find some sort of decent response, otherwise they would have been on a half buy for round 21, if not worse. Smokes up, teams making their way in. A Lion damage being done. Exist quickly opens up the frags. No mercy coming in from these boys. Get Right to sneak behind the CT line, though. They've gone for the vent dive. Nickelback has no idea Get Right could sneak right in, take the man down. He's not prepared. Utility's out. That's 2 for nothing. And Dignitas basically having B control.
Yeah, they have to save now. There's nothing WINSTRIKE can really do. Lucky's going to be able to chime back, but you've got to think the T's have already got control of this lower bomb site. Krisen's going to be able to at least put himself in a bit more of an aggressive angle. Exist, though, hearing a lot of these footsteps, getting the information. I tell you what, Dignitas have got the choice of trying to maybe bring that bomb back to upper, considering how many rotations have come through from WINSTRIKE now to B.
Freiburg being challenged. Krisen goes down. Lackey can trade him. Defensive holding for the moment. They're all leaning in towards this B site player. The bomb on the back of holds like the AWP lands that quick shot onto Lackey, and Bondic left alone. 1-on-3 scenario. Maybe might take out Exist, but that's the best I think he can get out of this round.
He's got to think of his own economy too. Hauser going to be able to deliver a couple of nice AWP shots in the round. And WINSTRIKE really starting to crumble now on this CT side. Not having an easy time at all. That was just a really smart play coming out from GetRight. We see the vent dive coming in from the CT of Nickelback. Then GetRight goes for it as well. And there was another player that was close vent that was sort of keeping an eye on it, but didn't quite catch the timing of GetRight. And Nickelback would have been very surprised there to see a player peeking out from vent. And you've got to think this should be a 13th on the board now for DIGNITAS, especially with the fact of just being an eco.
Upset from Holzerk, looking towards outside where the Lion is challenging him. And connect that headshot eventually as he crosses, and the angle was held for a long time. Of course, half by a round coming through from WINSTRIKE, so not too much of a loss there to lose that man. Of course, they're expecting to lose the round overall, potentially get some damage on DIGNITAS. That's the best thing they're hoping for here. Recover the economy state, although Lackey outside gives away his position. And now the backstabs in. GetRight at T-Spawn can win that fight. And what could have been a couple of good picks, way too slow for Lackey to react.
That was looking a bit awkward. Nickelback's Deagle almost finds a couple of kills. GetRight is just so passive out through T-Spawn. Realizes the fact that the aggression's only going to continue from the CTs. Tapping away. And now Krizen's last one left. A-bomb side completely opened up. But yeah, look, that could have been a little bit more successful than what it was from WINSTRIKE. But it was just an eco. And they get away with one kill at most. Could be another. Krizen looking for a weapon. There's an AK in front of him. But at the same time, DIGNITAS are probably going to realize that he's looking for this weapon. Follows up with another kill. So good damage being done.
Can take out the upper holes though. That'll be even better for him to save a AWP. Seeing the T's coming in though. Flashbang keeps him blind as he faces into two. Even the AWP slowly making its way around that corner. And DIGNITAS coming out on top, looking extremely on point here. 13-9. And the buy comes back from the CTs. I think their first real rifle round in a very, very long time. And a big opportunity for them here. They've got to get around on the board though. If they can't do that, then DIGNITAS probably going to be on map point.
Yeah, you'd certainly expect that, right? WINSTRIKE, after finding a fair bit of success in the first half, it seems to have really started to simmer now going into the second half. Fast play out to the outer bomb site, or the upper bomb site, I should say. Exister started off Lucky to try and trade back. He gets a couple of kills, but he needs to follow up with more, and he's got no more support on the bomb site itself. The man advantage being found for the T's, and the presence only continues. They keep finding frags. They know exactly where a Lion is. He's got to save. He's got to hold on to this orb.
Yeah, Orb towards outside, we'll try and challenge him. Holzerk and a Lion missed their shots. A Lion trying to get out of dodge and save his weapon once again. Molotov's back as he rotates towards ramp. They've already got a player making their way out there. Forrest is hunting for this kill, hunting for this gun, but a Lion continues to evade all the T side. Down on the B side, I don't know how the explosion radius works vertically, but I'm imagining he probably could go down here with this low HP. Open up decon door and get towards decontamination. I think he'll just about stay alive. He'll take a lot of damage for it. Yeah, he does fall back to decon where he will absolutely be safe, so 14 for DIGNITAS, and again, that's a big loss for WINSTRIKE to take. We're most likely going to be looking at... Now, Lion getting GetRight. We're most likely going to be looking at a map point for Dig. There should be no way WINSTRIKE buy into this round.
And they are. Classic CIS team, right? And they don't want to play for OT. They don't want to put the pressure on themselves. So, look, trying to take the fight here. Knowing the fact that obviously they saved onto that AWP too, realizing the fact that maybe they might not save onto it, bringing it into the next round. So, yeah, look, we don't really like to see it, but at the same time, I can kind of understand for WINSTRIKE, they don't want to play for OT. It's kind of like a go big or go home sort of play, but it's a risky one. Whether it pays off, we'll just have to wait and see. And for Dig, for these guys, you'd have to expect that they think that they're up against an eco.
I think with the burst of the M4 there, it's going to reveal the information that the TCD is a force ball here. A Lion with the AWP backing up. Molotov to force them out of the hell entrance. dropping the SMG here. Crizzen gets that one frag, drops that bomb, now knows where they're going to be going. bondik also extremely close range here. Down to timing, which player's going to face him first, back or front. Head on a swivel. Expecting those 180s to come through, but who's he going to get? Who's going to get fouled? Get right straight in. Dealt with by Nickelback. Forest and Hallzerk respond on bondik and Nickelback respectively. 3-on-2. M4 moving in next to the AWP of a line to back it up. Lucky's got to do so much from his position here. The bomb plant can be secured towards top side. Forrest has let the line in. It's going to be denied, and indeed it is. Got to look towards Dark and Hallzerk next. 2-on-2 situation. WINSTRIKE might still hold themselves here.
Yeah, Hallzerk incredibly low, does make a big factor, but they need to make sure for the T's that they're trying to get this bomb plant through. Hallzerk is going to be able to pick it up. Exists to try and defend. Running out a little bit of time here. Nade coming out. Even more damage done to this T side. And Lucky's now going to try and push through. It's all down to Hallzerk. 1-on-2 with the enemy P. That's a sharp shot. Needs to deliver. Oh, he doesn't see Lucky. Finally does. But with 14 HP, WINSTRIKE make the force buy successful. That was very, very down to the wire. They're able to get the defuse through. Pick up that 10th round. They need to make sure they're recovering that AWP from a line. Yeah. There it is. Oh. Okay.
How close do you want to be?
Yeah.
Single frag, 14 points of health made the difference between winning and losing. WINSTRIKE had to get that round together. The force buy was in full effect. And now with these rifles back in, we should be seeing a bit more confidence potentially from these guys. I say that, and there's an SMG for bondik. Exist has gone with a Mac 10 for this one, interestingly. I mean, he could have afforded the AK-47. Not got any utility for it either, so it's not like it's a utility-based buy. Playing contact initially, going down to Nickelback. That's a frag found. Forest can respond towards it. 4-on-4. Spray through from Get Right. Damage done to Lucky next. And the T's continue pressing forward. Lucky with the M4 next to face. Flashbang turns away from it. Still got players around his corner. And Fireberg gets the player down. 4-on-3 situation. DIGNITAS currently have control, they just don't have a sight.
Very fast and very aggressive, and now Dig start to slow it down. Maybe try and play the mind games here from WINSTRIKE, or is it a fake towards lower? They're going back to upper, and even for a line, he's starting to back off, and the timing works out really awkward for him. Needs to try and get involved, at least pull distractions away from Crizzen, but it's not going to happen.
And missed shots from both Crizzen and a Lion will cost them here. bondik. SMG ideally needs a rifle to save into the next round because WINSTRIKE have lost control of this one. 15 map points for DIGNITAS to open things up on their map pick. Not too surprising to get this far, but being this close for WINSTRIKE, again, surprising me considering their performances on previous maps of nuke nature in the past. Definitely doesn't look like bondik's going to get anything to hold contention with going into round 26. Bomb will go up. 4 will stay alive for DIGNITAS again. The economy can build. Not like it means much at this stage. They'll probably be buying for the next couple of rounds anyway. He does find the M4 bondik, so at least they get that.
Yeah, it certainly looks like Nickelback is being able to put a fair bit of time into Nuke. Again, being one of those maps where they're probably not going to pick it. It's probably not going to be a map picker for them, but at least being able to try and build the map pool a little bit deeper, especially on some of your weaker maps. We're seeing a good contention coming out from WINSTRIKE in the opening map of the series. But yeah, look, it's certainly not looking to be a favorite. A 15-10, all it's going to take for DIGNITAS is one more round. And look, a surprising sort of tale to sort of see how it was so much more competitive in that first half. And now when Dig get on T, that's where it starts for them to get into their own.
In the areas, flashes over, outside control being challenged by Nickelback and bondik. Nades up, will that take out Hallzerk? It will get damn close. It's Forest taking out bondik instead. Smokes down, Nickelback still held close. I think they've realized that this player pushed up. They really needed an opening kill there, WINSTRIKE. The fact that they got away with a man disadvantage when damage done to the T side, it's not a good stance.
No, it's not at all. And for DIGNITAS, they can just wait for some over-aggression, and look what's coming out towards lobby. 2 players trying to see if they can sandwich in the Ts.
It won't go so far as the lobby position, though. Won't extend outside, even though they could have caught so much information. Flash in. No, Nickelback just swings and takes those 2 kills. Got Freiberg next. Alliance going to play distraction, take him down. Then Nickelback still there in front of the backstab. Comes in from Crimson, takes Forest next. Get right alone. Facing in, Lucky protects Nickelback once again. A massive round from the CT side.
That's huge. Nickelback comes up absolutely massive there outside, find a couple of kills. That second one onto Hauzerk was so quick too. Okay. Well, WINSTRIKE aren't quite done just yet, Jay. They're getting a very strong buy together too. And they're getting to a point where the economy's looking a little bit rough for Dignitas. So if WINSTRIKE win this, we could really have a bit of a contest in the late stages of Nuke.
Yeah, we could well do. CT side. Ops in, the M4's out. Of course, a heavy rebuy with the rifles being saved here on the CT camp, but up against 4 rifles the Dignitas squad. And again, there's a couple of players that aren't investing in full in these rounds. Get right and exist, not going with any utility whatsoever. Not sure what that's about, but gonna go out the gate into the A-bomb site. Bondit gonna get overwhelmed by Exist. Quick kill comes through. AWP up in heaven, needs to find a kill. Back, back instead. Transfers the spray from one to the other. Holzerk chimes in, Exist gets Lucky next. And it looks like it will all be for naught. As it's 16-11, the final kill for Holzerk. Dignitas do go past the finish line on their map pick, securing Nuke in the Festa 3.
Okay, well that really had it all, that first map. That was very exciting, very down to the wire. And for Dignitas, they came out to be the better team on their own map pick. Looked really solid towards the end there. We saw some great multi-frags coming out. Hauzerk looked really impressive on that AWP. And you've got to think, for these first 2 maps in the series, not really maps that you see the AWP being too prevalent with going into a Vertigo next. And obviously Train being that third one. That will be a bit different. But yeah, look, I think for WINSTRIKE, they put up a stronger performance than I thought they would do in this first map.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we kind of thought this would be a stomper. I mean, it'd be just so one-sided there for Dignitas. So the fact that it wasn't, obviously, is such a massive thing for you know, for the WINSTRIKE side going into their map pick of Vertigo, which is a map that Dignitas don't have of their own right. It could well be a chance for them to really easily take control of the second and move us on to a quick third. But we'll have to find out whether that will be reality here, whether WINSTRIKE can hold on for a little bit longer after this short break. It's Vertigo. Map 2 of our best of 3. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the series between DIGNITAS and WINSTRIKE. If you're just joining us, then you will not see any fishy results over in the first map. 16-10 going the way of DIGNITAS over on Nuke on their map pick. It is going to be Vertigo coming up next, the map pick of WINSTRIKE. Now, a map that you would expect them to pick, obviously, in their own respect. It is a map that they're pretty good on it. It's not a great map for the DIGNITAS side. So, on paper, we should be seeing a third map in this series. But WINSTRIKE took it close over on Nuke. What's the chances of DIGNITAS taking it close here on Vertigo?
Look, their Vertigo, it's been decent. It hasn't been anything special. We saw a victory over Aves in week 6 where they went into OT, but then putting up 12 rounds against Apex and then facing off against Aves again, only getting 9 rounds. Now, Apex and Aves's are, like Vertigo's, are probably one of the best in Tier 2 Counter-Strike. So as that kind of exception behind it, look, I think they're on for a decent shout, but the fact of the matter is, I think WINSTRIKE should be at least able to make this second map a win for them to take it to a third. I think it's going to be very down to the wire. I think it's going to be at least double digits again for the Dignitas side. But yeah, look, you know, maybe if they can show up, if they can get the AWPs being able to frag out, get the multi-kills, then there certainly is a chance for 2-0. But I think it's a small one.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it definitely feels like it should it should be a third mapper in this one. You know, it just feels like to me that the WINSTRIKE side just have the map sort of advantage to them. And it's like, you know, in terms of kills and, like, you know, all the regular sort of like statistics that we can weigh up, they're all pretty close. Like, you can see the kills on the board right now, 22 apiece for Holzerk and Lackey, the top fraggers of their respective squads. So, like, it was pretty close when it came to individual sort of play basis. It was just down to the team style and the side biases that really tipped DIGNITAS over the finish line.
Yeah, look, and what I'm really glad about is that we haven't really seen any sort of like forced by half-by victories. Now, Vertigo is one of those maps where you probably don't see it as much as like a Dust 2 or a Mirage or an Inferno, because realistically, especially on that T side, it's a lot of set pieces rather than going for the defaults, whereas that's really when the Deagles and the CZs and what have you can really come into their own. So I think going into this second map, when we won't expect to see too many of those forced by half-by victories, I think for DIGNITAS, it's all about being able to put up a dominant CT side. Between these two teams, it seems like for WINSTRIKE, they're a very strong T-sided team, not so much on CT, whereas at least for Dig, it is pretty much 50-50. There isn't really one side that's better than another. You know, you can take that as a positive, take that as a negative, but yeah, look, at least for WINSTRIKE, they'll be looking to start up on at least putting, 9-10 rounds on T and really start to put some pressure on.
Yeah, and I'm expecting them to sort of be able to really put the pressure on against DIGNITAS because, you know, not only they're not having a great set of maps in this on Vertigo, but they're also like not playing it very much at all. They've only got 5 on record in the last few months, which indicates to me it's not one of those maps they like playing here. You know, with WINSTRIKE getting, of course, a decent win percentage, playing it a few more times than 4. You know, and it's not one of their most played maps in the pool, but it is one of their most confident when it comes to a win rate. So seeing them sort of take that extra experience to the fold probably should give them at least an initial amount of control, at least initial startup here, that will give them sort of like an early advantage for me. Especially if they get on the T side as well, which obviously you would expect for a team like WINSTRIKE. They should be able to take the dominating stance here on Firepower.
Yeah, look, I'm really keen to sort of see the AWP battle. We didn't really see it a lot between Lion and Nickelback over on Nuke. We saw it a few times between sort of Silo and back credit card outside, but outside of that, we didn't really see a lot of AWP duels. I think we'll see a little bit more going into Vertigo, maybe out towards the ramp play, sometimes out from mid. There's not too many opportunities, especially on the city side, to play the AWP. Sometimes you might play it really deep as a B anchor or sort of a little bit versatile around mid, but mainly around that A sort of long and Ivy position. So look, really keen to sort of get into this matchup. We are going to be having the knife round coming through. Jay, I think we're in for an interesting series. I'm hoping the fact we can get to a third map, but for DIGNITAS, they're certainly going to be looking to see if they can take this as a 2-0.
I think we'll go to a third map. It seems like the most likely outcome for me, so I'm reminded to you all the Malta vibes is brought to by Gaming Malta, a home of gaming excellence. I finally get the choice aside. I'm imagining that WINSTRIKE would love to start things off on T, and again, I'm expecting if they get that T side, or when they get that T side, if it comes in the second half of the first, then they will be in with a confident half, and indeed WINSTRIKE will win the knife. They will opt to go for the T side pick, I imagine. That is the choices here. And yes, they don't. They've got a CT instead. All right. That's commendable, but I do question the logic behind it.
Yeah, look, I suppose, you know, want to start off CT, get some, maybe not so much a lead, but being able to put up a good start and then really start to bring it back on that T side. All about sort of whether they want to get the momentum to start it off or they prefer to have the momentum a little bit later. But it looks like they are going to be starting up on that CT side to get the pistol round started. We are going to be seeing the odds from Lootbet. Damn, they are actually incredibly close going into this second map. 1.68 for the WINSTRIKE guys. Actually, it keeps changing here, Jed. I don't know what keeps going on, but it seems like Dignitas are down to 1.95. So if you do want to get involved in those odds, you can check out a fantastic betting partner. All the information is underneath the Twitch channel in the banners below. 10 free CSGO spins and up to 100 euros as a bonus on your deposit. Dignitas looking to see if they can get this early ramp control, fair bit of utility to work with, but as well for the CT side.
Nickel back and a Lion taking face. Freiburg takes the Lion to open up the matchup here. Nickelback will try and find a response very early on, but he's not going to be able to catch Holzerk or get right. Holzerk can aggress pretty far forward for it. They put some nades on to hopefully do some damage to the aggressing players, but they back up a little bit and try rotate back to B instead.
Start to slow it down. A WINSTRIKE, where's the information they get from this? Because the fact that no one is actually peeking in this ramp entrance doesn't give them any information that they've started to back off and just leaving Lackey alone as the single B defender. Now, there is a rotation coming through on Krisen. He's the one with the flashbang and the kid. If he sets up Lackey well, he could potentially try and go for a peek and see if he can get an aggressive angle.
P2K can't land the shots on Holzerk. He'll take down Lackey. 2 for 1. Krisen responds on Holzerk, though. Got 3 players suppressed to the site. 3-on-3 situation. Seeing Forest, seeing player back at quad. No idea the bomb plant has come through, or he won't know exactly where it is down right now. Get Right's going to regress after getting that bomb plant very, very far pushed up. Going to catch Krisen. See Nickelback next, and Bondik, also a relatively known entity, swings on towards the left-hand side, but Bondik takes a trade. Forest in the back, leaves it all on the diffuser. No Kevlar for him, but he still gets a shot on Forest, and no smoke for the Ninja diffuser. Got to find Exist, looking for that headshot, facing around white box. Second phase can't quite land the frag. Exist baits him in to get the kill for the pistol favor of Dignitas.
Good start coming out from Dig, but we should expect to see the force buy back from WINSTRIKE, get that scout onto, I was going to say a line, but it looks like Bondik. Okay, no. He's chucking it over to his teammate of a line, making sure that he's able to get that armor to back it up. Dignitas just comes down to wasting as much time as possible. We see Get Right getting very aggressive around those generators to try and find an opening man advantage in the post plant. And in the end, Exist is going to be able to win it out. Quite a few SMGs out for the T side, Jay. No AKs, a couple of Galils, 2 MAC-10s, and a UMP, and ramp control being found pretty easily.
The Eagle spam. Come and find Get Right here. He's placed through instead, blind through the smoke. Pretty likely if he's so close for you to get that headshot in and get the kill. Molotov set a Lion backed up, waiting for face and expecting players to come through eventually, but it's very passive right now from the CT&T lines.
Get Right looking to overextend around alley and set themselves up for a little bit of utility. Nades out close. Not going to do any damage considering that they're back onto the site itself. A complete gamble coming out from WINSTRIKE to A.
You're going to nickel back. Ready for 2. Holzerk and Freiburg are there. Get Right. Got a Lackey to deal with. A Lion does catch Holzerk, and Lackey does get Right as well. Freiburg responds with a second kill as well on Krisen, but 3-on-2 situation. No shots connecting. Bomb plant should be secured, but they're still losing players here. 2-on-2 scenario for the CT recovery here.
Man, Lackey's still alive, but he's not able to do much further than that. 30 seconds left on the clock. They'll know roughly where a Lion was towards that sort of sniper's nest area. Now starting to reposition. 42 points of health. Freiburg is low, and so is Forest working at the edge of this smoke. That drops the bomb. This now makes it a lot more awkward.
Scout too close. Forest will take a Lion. No scope, not landing, and the Galil picks up the second frag for the Dignitas, second round, I should say, for the Dignitas side. Went straight down to a basic eco, it seems here. And yeah, forced bystanders going back into the rifles for round 4 is where just stop explaining it as well, just like, yeah, it seems pretty common. Oh no, not to be.
Why? I don't like this. Yeah, you took it down to a one-on-one, so there's a potential of resetting the economy from the T side, but just save, get the rifles up. You realized how close that round was, and maybe that's the incentive of why they want to force again. They've got a single M4, a couple of MP9s, and a couple of Deagles. And with these smokes down, they won't have a great idea that it's a complete force yet. They might just think it's a little bit of a half bite. This could get scary from Dig.
M4 and AK set. Checking out the ramp position. Utility coming through. The Molotovs onto the orange boxes. AK tap up, looking towards the back line. Holzerk does get a line down. Holzerk follows suit on Kriz, and Nickelback does respond with one good Deagle pick, but for the most part this round it's falling apart as you would expect it on an anti-eco. I say that, Deagle Bondic does make his way into a decent position, but Forest takes it down, so only 2 are left standing for WINSTRIKE.
And maybe sort of questioning whether this force buy was going to be successful or not. They've done a hell of a lot of damage onto Forest, a little bit onto Get Right, but 2 players left. They're even split as well. Lucky's attention being pulled away. And finally going to see if he can back up Nickelback. But he's really got to find a couple of kills here. One, can't find the trade onto the next. And even for Lucky, foot touching the Molotov, they know exactly where he is. MP9 is going to be able to find one, but no more than that. A 3rd round now up for Dig. Now this should be an eco. It should be. And, you know, I would say for most of last year, Jay, you know, when you had like the Wendigo squad and you had like your Skade and what have you, and the like MK roster, you'd be like, oh yeah, Bulgarians, they always force. But we've recently seen a bit of a shift in CIS teams enforcing.
Halfway from WINSTRIKE, so they tone it down a little bit. Smokes up, flashes down. Freiberg trying to get aggressive here against the likes of Nickelback, who is taking damage. Blind fire from the AK gets the kill. And starts things off right for the T side.
A good start coming out from Dig. And for WINSTRIKE, this time around, at least for the T's, just waiting for a bit of over-aggression. They just almost think that it's going to come through. A bit more of an aggressive stance from the CTs out towards this ramp entrance. And not too much to work with, so for Dig, should be able to clean this up relatively easily. And Freiberg already doing a bit of damage onto Alliance, spams come through onto Bondic, and now it's a 5-on-3.
Kills easy, Freiberg, AK. Now towards the sandbags, Molotovs do go down to try to flush anybody out of position, but nobody will move. There's no one there for WINSTRIKE. It's all down to the side defensive, and of course it's a 5-on-3, making it 2 now as Forest takes Crism. And 2 more left towards the alley entrance. There should be no way left for WINSTRIKE here. They do peek and get right. They can grab that AK. If they can get out of dodge and out of danger, they can save it. And the Lion does land a pretty good Deagle shot, but unable to really exist. Therefore, it's a team ace for DIGNITAS to get 4-0 on the start of the T side.
Good start so far coming out from the Swedes. But they need to really be focusing their attention now into the rifle round, which is a little bit later than what we expected. But going into round 5, AWP up for a Lion, M4s for the rest of them, kit on to Lucky. And even with 4 rounds in a row from Dig, they haven't really been able to farm up their economy at all, Jay. And that's because the rounds have been very expensive. Could exist around 4k, Forest sort of close to 3, but for the rest of them, not a massive amount of money in the reserve. Fast presence out towards the B stairs to get some early control for the Ds. And WINSTRIKE, they've taken complete ramp control.
AK is in for exist. Trying to play the contact play around towards the wood area of the stairs, top of stairs area on the B site. Burst through from Lucky, takes Forest down. The Molotov's in, Lucky trying to find a wraparound here. Does catch Freiberg, but can't get the kill for it. Crism responds, keeps the man advantage for WINSTRIKE. Players making their way around white as Crism blind sprays through, because the bomb planter get right red in the midst of the smoke. Holzerk comes up with 2 kills though, and has the bomb on his back. Can he secure the plant? Can he secure the site? Can he secure the clutch against the retake? 45 seconds left, and he might counter-rotate to A.
Halzerk's made this very, very expensive for the CT so far. But what's the play here? 35 seconds, waiting for a bit of a backstab to come through. Doesn't really have time without making noise to get to A, so he's going to continue his presence over to this B side, and it doesn't have any utility. And for b3, just trying to jiggle Pete the angle, get a little bit of information. How Zerk not going to be able to turn it into a one-on-one. b3 to be able to find the last. And for Dignitas, they really just got shut down over at that B bomb site.
Yeah, decimation held together, and although Holzerk looked like he may have done something there with the AK on the clutch, not to be in the end. First on the board of WINSTRIKE, finally kicking things off for the CT side. Forcing the buyback from Dignitas as well. There is a couple of AKs, a couple of Galils, and nothing for Freiburg in terms of rifle SMGs. He's going Deagle in this round, so Dignitas' money management has not been amazing, I'll tell you that. Low buy coming through on a foresight. Both economies in tatters, and Freiburg first to fall.
And that is the Deagle from Freiburg, but still losing that opening man advantage. And Nickelback going to re-smoke quite deep. Allow b3 to try and overextend before the smoke goes down. More kills coming through for the smoke. b3 has got 2 kills, completely blind.
Sprays through Holzerk and Forest. Burst through, damage done, smoke set onto the site. Spray through from Forest, trying to do some damage on the wall bank, trying to get some sort of recovery here for Dignitas, but it's all falling apart. Forest, last player left as Holzerk goes down. Nickelback seen it was Ali, so is b3 actually. Could get 2 frags for him, make it a little bit expensive for the CT side, but Krisen catches the man off guard, so 4 alive for the WINSTRIKE camp, and an eco coming in from Dignitas.
Much better from WINSTRIKE. Yeah, look, there were a few kills that came off the back of luck of just spamming smokes, but it's good to see that they had, again, another 4-on-1 situation where they didn't overextend, didn't offer up too many opportunities for Dignitas to make that round expensive. A couple of great kills from b3. And 2 in a row now for WINSTRIKE. Looking to start to farm up a little bit of confidence. It's just going to be Glocks to try and come out. I think it's a single P250. And for a line, if he gets pressured, he needs to try and fall back pretty quickly.
USP of a Lion, trying to do some damage. Got Krisen to back him up, so they do pull distraction away to make sure the AWP stays alive. Gets the kill on Freiburg to get revenge on Krisen to fall. Nickelback also swings with the AK to get the last 2 players down. So a couple of lost, little bits of lost pieces of equipment, mostly in the rifle department, but that's fine. 4 alive for the CT side. The rebuy can come through, and speaking of buys, you can buy some sick cases, open them up, and get some sick skins only at our case partners at hellcase.com. Use codes MOLTV and MOLTV15 for a free money and 15% refill bonuses as respective. Again, only at hellcase.com. Rifles for Dignitas. AKs in across the board. Of course, the AWP for Alliance still in play. The money is looking pretty decent for WINSTRIKE, although I think they'd struggle to buy up if they lost the next round.
Yeah, look, it's starting to look a bit awkward. Dig looking to see if they can find a little bit of a response. We saw the 4-0 lead coming out, and then WINSTRIKE now winning 3 out in a row. Nothing has really come out quick from Dignitas, especially towards that B stairs area. It's been a little bit of a quick ramp control. Starting to slow it down, force a line back out from this mid control. Very aggressive. b3 wants to try and take a fight pretty much immediately, and GetRight hasn't got the timing.
Got the kill, though. Does lose a lot of HP for the sake of that kill. Nickelback jump facing, seeing 2 now, backing up and calling for backup as well. Tons of information gained by 1 simple jump face. Gets around towards Ali. Going to rely on his teammate at the backside to try and control this position. Sprays through blind and wall bangs, trying to get some sort of damage, but nothing will go his way.
Bringing 2 players over. They need to hold a very strong defensive hold here. Dignitas don't have any lurk over towards B, and Nickelback got very aggressive, but it's the enemy P that drops that bomb. Finally, a lot of information now starts to come through, and Lucky's going to start to rotate.
Nickelback spraying around the corner, desperate to get a kill. The Forest and Holzerk take him and back up down. Krisen still left towards Ali. Good flash in. Holzerk is blind. Lackey gets credited with the assist. Ooh. And Krisen tries to turn around for a 3K. Can't make it happen. Lackey takes out Forest. No idea on where GetRight is, but he's on 11 points of health. Lackey's got to wait for GetRight to come to him. Wraps around. But Get Right still gets the headshot and just clutches the round here for Dignitas.
Oh, man, he was so low, too. He was, what, 11 points of health? That is a massive round from Get Right. And Krisen did so much work, a couple of kills, stuck in the site itself, bringing back a 2-on-4. And for Lackey, 74 HP against 11. You'd think that 99% of the times he probably wins out this fight. And just fantastic peek in from Get Right to find the 5th round for Dig. And they're going to take a tactical for it. Their economy is pretty low, even with the fact that they won the round because only one player survived and they didn't have hardly any money in the reserve in that last round.
Well, WINSTRIKE, despite getting a decent response in against Dignitas, is still struggling against this T-side line. Good clutches coming through as well. And the veterans showing they've still got it in some aspects. The AK is in, the Galil's out, the MAC-10, unfortunately, they don't got it in the buy. We'll need to find a way in. Good shot from the Lion, despite being completely blind by the flashbang. Still lands a leg shot on Get Right. He's on 14 points of health.
Massive amount of damage, but at least for Dig, they established their early ramp control, force WINSTRIKE to be a little bit more passive on A. They'll need to use counter utility if they want to try and regain this ramp control, something that WINSTRIKE haven't really done in the past. A lot of the time when ramp has been established on the T's, they like to try and play a little bit more passive in the site rather than trying to retake it. Dig, though, MAC-10 on to Get Right AWP is going to be able to connect onto Freiburg.
Lion with that kill, smoke up, Bonding. Still looking for those wallbang shots, but none of them really seem to be connected against Dignitas. The Lion with the AWP. More reliable, aggressive face here and contact play on the site itself. It's all distraction in this default, though. Look at where the bomb is. Halzerk rotating around with it to join out Exist over on the B site play. They've got Lackey there to defend against it. But Lion still concentrating on getting these kills down. If Forrest is smart, he won't over-aggress and look for kills. He'll just keep their attention drawn by holding presence and allow his teammates to execute towards B.
The thing is, though, Krisen's starting to rotate over, so this lack of surprise, no, it's going to be a fake at B. They're going to rotate back to A, and oh, the timing from Forrest. There's now going to be only a single player here, unless Nickelback stays around. That's a massive kill. That's going to bring the defenders back.
But so does it bring the bomb back as well, and as Get Right falls, Exist and Halzerk are in a 5-on-2. 14 seconds to get the bomb down on the site. Bondix ready for Halzerk. Sprays through, does not lining up against Exist, but he's got plenty of info to hold off against it. $400 to his pocket, and Alliance shuts it down to ensure that at least the CTs, oh sorry, the T-side I should say, do get the loss bonus, the money bonus on their board. But it's not much by comparison. There should be no buy or force buy from the T-side.
And look, big credit to Nickelback there, not over-rotating. With how much time is left on the clock, you could certainly have seen a lot of teams just over-rotating to that B bomb site. He stays around, and as soon as he picks up that first jewel, then they bring the rotators back into A, and for Dig, it's too low. That fake at B didn't do anything. It did not pull the players that they wanted to. And this should be WINSTRIKE tying it up. There are not a lot of upgrades on this T side, just a couple of upgraded pistols.
The Eagles and P250s, Glocks in for the Ts. This is going to be a very basic round for WINSTRIKE to clean up. See how aggressive Lackey is for it as well. He's ready. Line him up and knock him down. Nades out towards mid, meanwhile. Do get Halzerk to fall to 28 points of health. Exist facing inwards. Can he get up on the boost pot position? They won't know about this. All down to timing for this headshot. And just very quiet and careful. 60 seconds to the clock. And here they come. Lackey, Krisen, cross-firing. Krisen with 2 frags. Lackey with 1. Bomb being dropped and everything. The 4-on-2 situation as Halzerk gets 1 trade, but goes no further than that.
Good cleanup coming out from WINSTRIKE. Not losing too much there. Still holding on to a fair bit of utility. Also helps that you don't have to reinvest, what, roughly about $1,000 each round in full sets of util. So they can be happy in that regard, that they're keeping their economy line strong. A Dig, though, going into the gun round, into round 11, looking to sort of see if they can put a little bit more of a foot down, a bit more of an impact in terms of this T side. Because you've got to think for WINSTRIKE, right, with their T-side being their strongest, that Dignitas really need to be coming out of this first half with a lead if they want to be able to take this map.
Those positions set by Dignitas again at the default under the ramp control. Bondik here against Get Right. Small gap in that smoke. Get Right jumps at the right moment, so Bondik can't get the kill, but he can't get the frag to return. Holzuk does chime in on Nickelback though. On site, crossing out. Bondik still working in from alley, going to try to keep them suppressed from a split position, but the wraparounds and the CTs here on the same main side defensive. Only 2 to hold off against the entire Dignitas force.
Halzuk's been able to get to the sandbags position too. Big advantage being the AWPer there. A Lion and a teammate out through the alley position, but Forest now opening up on the side. This makes it really awkward now for Bondik and a Lion.
Shot on, good kills from a Lion. 2 frags found, 3-on-3 situation. And Bondik sees one AWP dealt with. Get Right turns around, Zist finds the frag back. A Lion, last player standing. He has bomb control for the moment. Faces in and gets the shot. A Lion to clutch it still. Norb shots ring out. Get Right does have the bomb though. Takes it right back to the B site. Gonna set up the retake against the AWP.
And it all comes down to this one-on-one. How does Get Right play it? Does he want to play passive? Does he want to overextend? A Lion is very, very quick getting to the side. The AWP, I think he's just seen a shoulder. He'll know where Get Right is, trying to relocate around the default. Oh, he can't get him into the generator's position. Get Right just winning that out. And this is twice now that we've seen Get Right clutch out one-on-ones.
Ah, Lion got so close to clutching of his own right. I mean, look at these kills coming in. The third frag in particular, perfectly placed. And that's why we highlight him, man. When he needs to, he comes out with plays like that. But Dignitas are just maintaining their lead. A tactical pause will come through from the Swedes, because they realize that that one was way too close.
Yeah, look, it really was to make it the fact that now we've seen Get Right winning 2 one-on-one clutches in a first half of a map is getting a little bit ridiculous of how close some of these rounds have been. But yeah, look, they just kept facing into that AWPer. And they didn't know about Bondik, so the way that Lion and Bondik sort of worked together in such an awkward position, they did so well to find that many kills. The Get Right reading it immediately, the fact that let's just rotate to A. Big round up for the Swedes, but again, they've been able to really not build too much on this T-sided economy, and that's why we're seeing a UMP up for Freiburg, because a lot of these rounds have been so expensive to the Dig side.
Up in AUG, burst up, Exist takes out Lucky. Good kill found. SMG with 2 players out towards mid gets dealt with by Get Right next. And the very aggressive facing from Dignitas is working pretty well. Although that being said, 2 players are very low on health. Freiburg will push the bomb into the site, get it planted down. Need to swap out that UMP, one of the AKs ideally here. The Galil of Exist will face and get dealt with by Bondik. Bomb plant's got to come through, and indeed it does. Freiburg still watching. UMP drops down. Nickelback takes the frag and getting a bit overly aggressive for Dignitas here. 3-on-2, flick back, 2-on-2. Scope in, trying to catch the next man out, but smokes up, still Holzuk holds. Get Right. Got to come in and support here. Holzuk finding all the AWP picks, and the backstab from the AK eventually works up good.
Oh, I tell you what, Halzuk's looking really impressive with this AWP, and it's good to see that we're seeing both AWPers finding a mass amount of impact. Even the fact that he puts that smoke down so quickly, and he just needs to not peek towards stairs, because he realizes that Get Right's starting to come in, needs to try and take the duel onto a Lion, and from there, Get Right can clean up the pieces on that last kill. 7-5, still holding on to the lead. I'm resetting the money line for WINSTRIKE to put them on a very harsh eco. Maybe a nade stack out to ramp? Maybe try and hold them off and wait for the bomb plan, actually.
Eco stacking for WINSTRIKE in this round. Gonna be there, set up with the basic USPs. No backstabs in from the B site, literally just the mid, the back site, the main site, that's it. Dignitas. think I missed a Molotov back there towards the alleyway position, but I mean, it's not going to matter too much here. The best that they can do is put the nades up here from the CT camp. That's the most damage they're going to get. Other than that, this should be overwhelming from the T side. It's going to be first contact. AWP seen. 2 players seen here. Chance for 2 kills. They're going to throw them. No, they're not. They're going to wait for them to get closer to the bomb site and try and play off the back of the plant position there. They can put nades up pretty easily towards that default area.
Is it going to be faked out? It's not. They're going to stick it, and here come the nades to deny the bomb plan. Finally, it comes through, but just a little bit too late, Jay.
Now, 2-1 trades in the interim. Get Right and Hallzerk fragging away. bondik and Krisen go down. Matt and Get Right still looking for a little bit more. AWP sees them towards the back lines. Forest does catch Nickel back in the open. Another AWP shot baited in by the shoulder baits here of the CT can. They do drop Hallzerk, but Forest and Get Right come up good here. Can they grab the AWP? I don't know if it dropped off. Yes, they actually do get it on Forest. So 8 to the board of Dignitas. T-side's going well.
Yeah, T-side's going really well. They're looking pretty impressive on the T side. Yeah, look, some of the rounds have been close, but for the most part, you know, to get an 8-5 scoreline, see if you can take it even further. They're in a really great position. And they'll be looking to sort of see if they can get, 9, 10 is going to be a bit of a stretch. It is certainly still a possibility, especially with the fact of how limited the money line is on the reserve for the WINSTRIKE side. So WINSTRIKE lose this, they'll have a pretty awkward bye going into round 15. So it's very vital for the CIS side to get involved in round 14. Very aggressive out from ramp. And Get Right just playing a little bit of a lurk, waiting for any kind of over-aggression. But WINSTRIKE have been able to completely take this map control away from the T's.
Firebag with the AK, M4 of Lackey. We'll try to take a challenge on Hallzerk with the AWP. This could go one of 2 very different ways, and it doesn't go the way of Lackey. Hallzerk lands the wallbang shot, predicting well off the back of the spray. Flashbangs in towards the ramp control meanwhile. Get Right going to get overwhelmed. Firebag finds that response, but he doubles up on Nickelback as well. And Dignitas continue in these default tip picks to maintain control.
WINSTRIKE now, you've got to think that just stack together. Make sure you're playing off one another. If you stack up B and the bomb goes A, then fine, but the bomb is going to go towards this B bomb side. Hallzerk and Freiberg are incredibly low. This could still be very awkward for Dig. They need to make sure they're maintaining the entry kills and maintaining the man advantages.
M4 lines up 2. Krisen may still buy a chance back for his team, but Forest trades him back. All in a line, 1 on 2. They're so low on health. He does drop the bomb as well. Hallzerk, last man standing. AWP versus M4. That bomb getting picked up. He's going to run right back towards the A site. Is he even got time for this?
I don't know. I
think
maybe just. Yeah, no, he's got time.
He'll just get there. So Alliance still on for the retake here. He'll know what's going on now.
Putting that utility down, Halion very, very fast to try and retake in. Realizes the fact how low the AWP of Hallzerk is, and there it is. Finally, a clutch to go the way of the WINSTRIKE side. Halion picks up that AWP and gets that defuse through. Now, the buy is still going to look a little bit odd for the WINSTRIKE side. They won't have a mass amount of money, but being able to put up that 6th round does make it very, very impactful, especially holding on to that AWP, because if they didn't recover that AWP, Jay, they wouldn't have been able to buy it going into round 15.
Of course, half being gained by Dignitas still, so WINSTRIKE, it's all a consolation going into round 15. Of course, Rebuy will still come back from the T-side line. AWP in for a Lion once again. 2 SMGs versus the Galil back on Get Right, so all in all, the buy is 1 out by Dignitas. bondik and Nickelback have done pretty decently here with these 2 SMGs.
Certainly have done in the past. And Krisen holding off towards the mid default. And Dignitas have probably looked the best when it comes into just trading in the mid round on the defaults. It's where the executions come through, is where sometimes WINSTRIKE come out on top, especially with Krisen starting to aggress out from mid. Only finds 1 kill. The HG cannot follow up. Oh, Freiberg just gets out of there.
Close, real close. They know he's low. He's going to try to get towards Latimer as well, because the CTs are going to continue to re-aggress and try and find this man. They know they are on for a man advantage if they can isolate that kill, but having seen no T-side presence out towards their mid-extension, they back up. Grab an AK for bondik. I'm find a different way to work in here. Flashes will go out. The AWP completely evading it though. Takes Holzerk down. Incendiary back. Gonna try and find the frag on Freiburg, but no. He gets a second kill. 3-on-3 scenario.
Oh, Nickelback trying to get to sandbags, but now the element of surprise is gone, especially when he makes contact onto Get Right. A Molotov coming out, just falls back to side. Now Exist needs to make sure that Freiburg is staying alive to get this backstab play through.
30 seconds. Exist moving in. Does see the player at court. The spray goes awkwardly wrong for him though, and Lucky now knows what's up. He gets the kill and Exist leaving it all to Freiburg. AWP got to get this pick, but he needs an ace clutch to make this happen, and it just will not. 8-7 on the board. DIGNITAS will hold the half, but WINSTRIKE bring it within close.
And you know when you like eat one of those really, really sour balls and like your eyes like all sort of like start crying and they all close up? That's my face right there when I saw what happened there for Exist. Like, come on, like that really needs to be a kill. If they take down the B defender of Lucky, that opens up the bomb side to try and get that bomb through. And WINSTRIKE and closing out, not quite the lead going into the second half, Jay, but 7 rounds on CT. I think they can be really pleased with themselves.
All right, then. This one could still be quite the affair from WINSTRIKE. As I mentioned before, I think we're all expecting the T side to go well for this CIS team. The main concern is will it? It's in a number of surprising halves so far today, so could be seeing one come through from WINSTRIKE, and DIGNITAS unlikely to take control on CT, but if they do so, then again, it could be a very different sort of matchup, I feel.
Oh, it certainly could be. You know, having a look at those trophies too. You know, we do have some major winners on this lineup, or in the server. Certainly not on the WINSTRIKE side. And it just comes down to whether experience can chop up the youngsters. I mean, in saying that, WINSTRIKE aren't so much of youngsters. They have had a lot of experience in the Tier 2 scene, like Krizen, Nickelback, and Bondik in particular. Those 3 guys have been playing for a really long time. Even Lion was like back on the APG side for quite some time. Lackey's probably the newest, not a newest addition, but like the newest up-and-comer from the Kazakhstanian region. This is really the opportunity for a WINSTRIKE to start coming into their own. Odds are favouring up to the DIGNITAS side. They are very, very close between one another. A 1.74 for Dig and 1.98 for WINSTRIKE. If you do want to get involved in those fantastic odds, you can check out our betting partner underneath the Twitch channel, loot.bet. Get involved, get some sick bets on. And what do you reckon, Jay? What do you reckon the chances are here for Dig to be able to try and bring this back?
I think the chances will be set here on the pistol round as we go immediately into contact. Bondik taking his hits. Forest and also do chime in with 2. Nickelback trades it 3-on-3. Still they face together. Freiburg gets Nickelback next. They force them to rotate right back to the B site. Lackey has already made his way up mid. Now going to hold CT contention. There's no one here on the B site, so Krizen can just get a bomb plant in.
He is so aggressive. I wonder whether DIGNITAS are going to be ready for this kind of aggression once they know that bomb plant comes down to B. Lackey and Krizen not playing together, Jay. They're actually trying to split.
Lackey taking contact, seeing 2, and now will fall back to defend the central site. Behind the AC box, Freiburg with the defuse kit. Got to be the man to stay in play here. Get Right rounds that corner, deals with him. Freiburg with the frag instead, and Krizen falls just as quickly. Triple up for Freiburg. And a 9th on the board for DIGNITAS. That is certainly where you want to start here for the CT side.
Absolutely. Even the fact that WINSTRIKE have a completely open bomb site at B, the 2-on-3 post plant does not come through. Now, they can force the issue, especially with the bomb plan to come through. They can even try and go for like the hero buy or just go for the Galils across the board. And it seems like they are going to go for the Galils, get that scout out for a line. There's some really nice pistol duels coming out from Dig, and it all just really comes off the fact of them looking to overextend out from ramp. They get that 3-on-2 advantage and look to see if they can get to double digits. WINSTRIKE, though, there is a very, very limited amount of utility, and that's because there was no MAC-10s, no SMGs, all rifles.
No kills here for WINSTRIKE to find. They lose the first one instead. Forest blind for the smoke down towards the B receiver. taking the frag back and now leaving Get right there as the main contact at the stairs area. Bomb's been left outside of the bridge area, so Kristen can pick it up and rotate to join the main T-side force, which I believe is what he's going to try and do. Flash is in from the CT. He's going to try to take contact towards Ali. They've seen Nickel back. Spray do some damage. Again, connecting a couple of bullets here through the wall, but they just can't quite find the kill on towards him. So good responses from Dignitas, evading and suppressing the T-side line.
A fair few numbers over here towards the A bomb site. Now, Align didn't see that player crossing over of Exist. Starting to creep up. The T's are starting to walk into this bomb site. Hauser can't find anything. Freiburg with a trade, but can't find any more than one.
Exist on site here. Smoke goes down. Flashes over. Bursts through from the M4. Trying to catch Krisen on the default plant position. We'll see him eventually. Catches Angle. A small pixel in that corner, but not going to get a kill. 3-on-2 for Dignitas at this moment. Backstab is slowly swinging up here from one of the backline players. The Galil on Get Right. What's coming up here against Nickelback. And he's got an inkling he's going to come from here now. Get Right, solo HP to do with a Nickelback. It's going to be an easy kill. Headshot comes out. Chris and left ear towards the alley face. Gets that one frag, but Exist finds the trade, and Dignitas keep control.
A big round. And I tell you what, two players surviving on CT side and force buy. I reckon WINSTRIKE go for the force buy again. It's a risky one because obviously you lose that and you kind of really start to lose control of the scoreline. But at the same time, there's certainly an opportunity for another force buy here for the T's. And yeah, here we go, classic CIS buy.
Classic CIS force buy, to be more specific.
I love it. Mate, love it now. Absolutely love it.
There's more Galils on this team than there are AKs at the moment. And look at the utility set it gives you for here as well. WINSTRIKE have got barely anything for the execution. Default set up, already using all of their utility. They've got 2 smokes left and damage being done. There's Freiburg with 2 kills on SMGs as well. Galil does face in, try and take down Exist. Lackey does respond here. Align gets a kill on Freiburg. Hulzerk trades, but Krisen responds to him. So, to the fairness of WINSTRIKE, they are getting damage on this board, but they need to win the round. If they fall down to Forest alone, then they will lose everything, all sorts of control in terms of the economy and round basis.
Get Right and Forest, not a lot of utility to work with between them. But the crossfire is set at this A bomb site, making sure they're peeking off each other's contact. Align is low, and Krisen's got the bomb on his back. And we are just seeing silent play from both sides, really starting to slow it down now.
Gonna find an angle of sorts, bait in a kill. Incendiary to force Forest out position. Alliance still giving his angle away. They know that he's there on ramp. Forest must be expecting Krisen. Good shot from the AK. M4 needs to turn around. Taking some damage, I think, on Krisen, but Krisen wins out the fight. So WINSTRIKE, despite the mass lack of utility, the lack of firepower, still overwhelming Dignitas. And with the damage done, actually, that's going to reset the CT side. Double eco, probably a force spike coming through here.
And things have got very awkward now for Dig. And that actually works out really nicely with that force buy from WINSTRIKE. And not quite a complete force though, Jay. They are buying down to about 1,000. And this is really the chance back in now for the WINSTRIKE side. AK's up for everyone except for Lackey. A single Galil out. A Dig looking to get very aggressive from mid, and they need to try and deal with Krisen.
Very weird half by basis here for Dignitas. Freiburg taking damage early on, 20 points of health for him. Upgrade pistol, still trying to look for Chris now in the mid position. Damage to 2, but not getting the kills. Forest instead is the man to start things off.
Not bad for the Dignitas side. Now, they have taken a lot of damage. That is one thing to consider, but they do have the opening pick. And picking up that AK does make a big difference too. If they can stack up this A bomb site, they're bringing a 4th player over.
Deagle facing up, Lion deals with it. AK still set, and Lion gets him as well. 2 players left at the back of the site. Deagle spamming, tapping. Bondic and Lion just continue to find these frags, 3 for Lion in particular, and Get Right left alone. We'll grab the AK here from the player that, I think they actually picked it up and pushed it into the site, so. Yeah, lost weapon. Does get some utility at least, but that's not going to mean much here. 9 to the board of WINSTRIKE. Dignitas up for another eco following this.
A bit of a shame that they don't do really too much damage, only get away with a single kill. Can't recover that AK-2. I get right looking for an extra kill, but it looks like all of the T's are escaping out towards sort of the back of the scaffolding area. Get right, shouldn't have too many opportunities here. Okay. Getting closer and closer to a tied scoreline now. WINSTRIKE starting to win out a couple of rounds in a row. Like you said, Jay, the double eco status. So an eco in this round, an eco into the next. To try and get the AWP at least onto Holzer going into the next round. An opportunity to go for double orbs if they want to. But they'll be looking at this round as just not much. Not much here.
Yeah, again, eco coming through for DIGNITAS. WINSTRIKE trying to get Crimson in position to clean up all these rifles, or pistols I should say more specifically, just to get some cash on their board. You can see he's playing aggressive and alone out to the mid position. The T is facing in from the standard ramp control and the ramp default. Crimson that will challenge Get Right. Will he catch him? Not in time. Might catch the two players on rotation instead. There's only one player there, the other one going towards the backline rotate, but established little contact, little presence, and little kills going the way of either squad.
Into sandbags. You'd expect a molly to come through. Exist really can't do much yet. A flashbang comes out. Is going to actually allow him to escape. The CZ from Get Right not really doing much. T's once again taking this ramp control. Flashbang coming out. Everyone tries to swing, and everyone pretty much goes down. Halzuk and Freiburg do get a couple of kills, so they are still making these rounds semi-expensive. But they're all focusing on this round, Jay. Round 21, that is where there needs to be a response for Dig.
Dropped 2 AKs as well on that T side, so it's still going to get a bit expensive here for WINSTRIKE. Crimson could not recover the third. He may be up to invest into one here. He's considering it. He could still buy it with the full set of utility. The MAC-10 may be a good option, though, because there's a good chance there'll be no head Kevlar for the DIGNITAS side. Still got time to consider it. The game has been paused here. Technical issues on one team's side. I'm not sure whose it is. Hopefully we'll find out in a few moments' time here. But either way, a moment's respite. Try and figure things out from here.
Dig have got to make a decision too, whether they want to get that AWP on the back of Halzuk and maybe swap weapons. And Freiburg can drop one. And Get Right can go glass cannon if he wants to AWP, which is something we saw at least a couple of rounds on the CD side of Nuke. So they can run double AWPs if they want to. They've got an option of that. It does mean, however, for Freiburg, if he buys an AWP, then he'll only be able to get the body Kevlar. Won't be able to get the head Kevlar too. I'll tell you what, Jay, this has been quite a competitive series so far. You know, 16-11 on the first map, 10-10. An exciting one.
We're seeing a buy coming in from both sides at least, so we do see the rifles as standard. Yeah, this should be a pretty standard round of things considered, you know, a pretty pivotal round though at that, you know, like for DIGNITAS especially, you know, given the economical situation that they're in. Could be seeing a big deficit on that economy line due to the heavy investment we should be seeing from all these players. You know, you can already see what the money's going to look like with Halzuk and Forrest. Big investment, hundreds of dollars at best for the CT camp. So could be an awkward time for Dig if they're not careful. They kind of need to take this round, I feel like, Dweg.
Yeah, look, it's probably going to be very vital if they want to have a shout at 2-0ing this. I think if they lose this, they lose a lot of contention that they've fought for so far. And obviously, this is the last quarterfinal of the day. We've already seen Mad Lions win up against MIBR. We saw a Sparta win their series, and then Forza just before. So the winner of this game will be taking Forza on in the semi-finals. Bit of a surprise. We've had all series today being 2-0s. I can't remember. Was the last series didn't go 3 maps?
Can't
even remember. We just casted it. No, it did go 3 maps.
We're like, yeah, no, hang on, I'm thinking of that. Wait a second, no, because it went 2 one-sided and a really close third.
That's
so yeah,
right,
the only
yeah.
series so far that they go 3 maps. DIGNITAS trying to make it an almost perfect record if they can, but they've got to, of course, get this round in order to do so, I feel like. Got to get this map on their board. M4s across the entire board, no AWP risk. Diffuses, utility, Kevlar and helmets on most players. Get right, the only man without. So Christian could find that 1 kill easily, but it's AKs across the rest of the T-side board.
Early util to try and force the CTs back towards the B stairs area. Not really too much of a contention. It's more so over towards ramp for DIGNITAS. A bit of early damage done to Exist down to 50 points of health. And for Dig, do they want to continuously get aggressive out from ramp? Now, we saw for WINSTRIKE, for a lot of their rounds in the first half, they looked to try and get very aggressive down towards this ramp control. And this time around, though, Dig are kind of like in 2 positions, Jay. They're not very aggressive, but at the same time, they're not completely passive and going back to the bomb site.
A minute to the clock. DIGNITAS have been taking damage. A run boost will come out, try and bait in anybody. They suspect that Exist is there, and the spray on the wallbanger. Bondic will take the man down. Hallzerk next to face. Flashbang will force him away. They heard those footsteps. They know that there's a CT being chased down. friberg going to try and regress back here towards the alleyway, try and funnel them into the ramp contest, but the Molotov will burn pretty quickly. There's still plenty of time for the Execute to come through. Nickelback is still going to split in. He's got utility set here. Rifle takes the face on the shoulder. Baits in the shot from Hallzerk. Still looking for his spray back. Nickelback gets the kill. Can't get friberg to return. 2 more rotate to the scene to try and support his man on the site. Gets a double for friberg. Turns around against Lackey, but he's too low on HP. Bomb plant to be secured. Flashbanging keeps them blind. Forest lines up 1 and 2. Get right takes his teammate out though, and that might cost them. A Lion slowly sneaking around, making no noise whatsoever. Gonna try and find the veteran. Tap on the bomb, sticking it. A Lion, he's right there. He misses the headshots, in fact. He gets the kill in the end, but DIGNITAS sneak the lead away from WINSTRIKE.
Oh my goodness, I thought for sure that round was done after we saw the TK come out. Get right, sticks the Ninja defuse. Oh, WINSTRIKE. After this happens, I can't believe it. Align didn't even just spam the smoke until too late. And even Dig are taking a tactical. They realized the fact our economy is just wrecked. Yeah, we won that round. But only 1 player survived, meaning that the T's are certainly going to have a better buy going into round 22. If they go for M4s,
already, you know?
yeah, well, if they go for M4s, they won't have any util. So they need to either go for masters if they want extra util, and even some players can't even afford M4s and armor.
This is going to get real leery for DIGNITAS. I said they needed to win that last round, but that came under the precondition that, you know, they had a level of, you know, confidence in it.
Yeah.
That was not confident at all 5 down. TK's coming in, costing some unnecessary frags, I feel. They could have easily held a 1 versus 2 if Forest was still alive in that one, but it is what it is. SMG's out on 3 players here, but they're still going to aggress with them and take players down. 3 stacked up towards this ramp position, taking damage on Get Right and Exist, but getting a Lion to open up the frag count in this round. Bonding immediately takes that man advantage out. Get Right gets overly aggressive, and Nickelback finds him on the trade.
That was something we hadn't seen before from DIGNITAS. They were almost like playing like a CIS team there. They got very aggressive down for ramp. Get Right was just pushing through that smoke with a flashbang, and WINSTRIKE went out great advantages. They hold on to a 4-on-3 and overextensions that we haven't really seen from Dig in the past. It goes back to hurt them. And even for friberg, they're sort of splitting out. 1 player towards mid, 1 over a B, and a single player to defend this A bomb site.
Incendiary out in the open, smokes up. friberg getting out towards the orange boxes. Spray through from Hallzerk, trying to do some damage towards Lackey and Krisen next. Bomb plant will be secured. 4-on-3. And a desperate retake for DIGNITAS to take. They really need this round. They want to maintain control of the economy. Molotov's in, Lackey with the AK, so close, smoke's all clear. He'll see Hulzerk and Freiburg line him up, knock him down. Forrest left to save. And it has been a disaster follow-up for Dignitas. No M4s in that round, and you can see what happened because of it.
Yeah, look, they really struggled there. They realized the fact, especially with those MP9s, we need to get aggressive. We need to be able to get as close as possible. And as soon as there's a 4-on-3 and not stacking up a bomb site, it makes it so much more awkward for Freiburg alone. If Forrest is going to hold on to this Fammer, they have to harsh eco. They can't invest anything, Jay. 1900 into the next round, 2400 to follow. They really need to be making sure here that they are not targeting any of their own economy. It all really comes down to Forrest to be the damage dealer going into round 23.
Oh, man. The money management was something that I highlighted a little bit earlier on in the half for Dignitas, and it really has come to fruition here. They're on a force buy still, or a half buy.
I'm surprised they're forcing.
From Hulzerk and Freiburg.
Yeah.
I am surprised as well. Yeah, I would have thought they would have tried to save the, save the buy coming into the round 24 with 4 rifles. It's not like WINSTRIKE are winning by a country mile. They're not on match point or anything. You can see the lead temporarily take it back with a couple of good rifles on your board, but whatever the thinking is, it's not going to get right of Freiburg very far. Down and out aggression will come through from the main man to get right, but forcing to rotate back from the B site towards A because that's where the T's are headed.
WINSTRIKE set themselves up for just a simple A site execution, which they've done for mostly all of this second half. Haven't really hit B all too often. A player towards sandbags to Bondig has been seen. A gamble stack now coming out for the CTs. WINSTRIKE just need to be careful they're not getting overextended here. More damage being done through the smoke.
And transfer the spray back to the next player. Okay, Bondig. Ready for several. Will we see get right? Will he catch him so close to CZ? His best chance here at this close position. Now being seen. He does swing at the right moment. Take Bondig down. 4-on-4 with suppression. And that peeking from Hulzerk. Okay, this just got serious. Ray frag from Prison can't come through. He takes it down. Exist finds the trade though. Forrest on site dealt with. Get right still able to CZ. Also finds a frag back and Exist. All that remains. Grabs an AK. A 1-on-2. Clutch retake coming in for the man. Flashes at his teammates, makes his way down from the ramp, made a lot of noise for it, so Lucky should have some information or an inkling of where he is. Face up, headshot not taken, I don't know exactly where he is. Here from ramp entrance, got Lucky to round the corner, Alliant playing off angle, takes that kill, all 5-4 for the CT side. Money's still great for WINSTRIKE despite 3 players going down. And it's just not enough to go for a full-blown buy here for Dignitas.
Yeah, look, I think that was a bit of a miscall. I think they thought that WINSTRIKE's economy was lower, that if they forced and they won the round, they would have been able to damage the economy from WINSTRIKE, but that's certainly not the case. Dignitas making a really, really risky play there in that last round. And now for WINSTRIKE, you've got to think, looking at going 13 to 11 up, especially with the fact that Dignitas have not really been able to find a massive amount of success in this second half. Aggression from Forrest, going to be dealt with from Lucky, and Get Right, not going to be able to go down, so he does pick up a rifle.
His best bet is saving that rifle into the next round by, though, because there's no chance of him and his teammates winning this one unless they manage to get some ridiculous headshots, some ridiculous kills, which I just don't even think they can do. Questioning why Freiburg's taking his face here towards the ramp position when Hulzerk was right behind him and he has a deagle instead. But it is what it is. 4-on-3, they're making their way up towards the B site. No one's there to defend it directly. Get Right will rotate the position, evade that flashbang by like an inch. Smokes go down, he sees one player challenging Chrisen, but can't get the kill. Molotov will force him back.
Just looking to see if they can do any more damage. Bring that AK into the next round, obviously, for Get Right, but get the pistols of Freiburg and Hulzerk to see if you can at least try and take down another player. And Bondig's incredibly low. Still a little bit of utility for him to work with on the post plant. Freiburg, ooh, nice tap onto Chrisen, that's a bit of damage. And looking for a little bit more, not going to be able to find a second kill. So I think Dignitas, they can be happy with a round where didn't have too much of an investment to get away with a couple of kills and an AK. It's not bad, it's decent.
I wish they could take out Bondig, though. just drop that third weapon, ensure that the economy starts deficiting for WINSTRIKE. It won't be like a round resetting or like an economy resetting scenario, but it would just be nice to put some chinks in the armor, you know, because WINSTRIKE, other than that, will probably be good to buy for most of the rest of the half. Maybe not if Dignitas get the next 4 in a row, but you know, even there's going to be a response. You know, that's the bottom line here for WINSTRIKE. The economy is that built, and now the lost bonus builds for the CT camp to see the rifles coming in. Full sets of utility for 3 individuals, 3 sets for the other 2. Forest with the AWP, Get Right with the AK and the kit. And WINSTRIKE, standard AK set, no AWP needed for this half as they go into their defaults and try and overwhelm, and outlast the CT camp.
Kind of interesting to sort of see Forest AWPing over Halzerk. Now, Forest did have a really good spawn to try and get the opening pick towards the B stairs, but he's still holding on to it. Maybe trade it a little bit later into the round if he wants to, but for the meanwhile, he'll keep his hands on it. Get Right alone at B because the CTs are starting to look to overextend out from mid, Jay. There's 3 of them here.
Flashes over, Get Right, duck down, smokes come in, Molotovs out, Get Right trying to get back behind the orange boxes of the B-side player. They have no idea he's here. They're all flushed and blind. He can't get kills. Does so much damage to Krizin. And Bondik taking a couple of licks as well, but for now, it's a 4-on-4. CT trying to re-aggress. Freiburg being spotted out by Bondik at the top of the smoke. Kill comes in, and they rotate back out. Seen a lot of resistance. Knows the CTs are majoritively here, so they're going back to the A site.
There was so much counter utility for the mid players. Get Right needed to find at least 2, maybe even a 3rd kill. He only finds 1. At a position like that, considering how blind the T-side players are, he'll be devastated with that. WINSTRIKE. They can just slow it down now. See if they can split the defense. No kits, Jay, on this CT side. Hardly any utility. 3 smokes for the retake. Bringing that second player over to AF Halzerk.
Zis drops that bomb. That's a big kill to find. Halzerk waiting for a swing like he's going to plant that one safe. Smoke goes back to siphon him off from his backup, but that's going to aid him to escape more than anything else. A line in the back lines, though. He's come up with a flank, and Halzerk takes him down. Now looking for Lackey. And the cover has been bought by that CT smoke. Right on the bomb, expecting them to aggress. Forest lands a blind shot. Bondik all that remains now. Chance available for the Dignitas squad. They're back on with the smoke. Forest trying to get towards the site here with the defuse kit in hand. Halzerk catches Bondik at the edge. And Dignitas look to claim 12, look to stay alive on CT side.
Every single round the Dignitas have won on the City side, Jay, has come down to a retake. It has all been diffusers. WINSTRIKE, man, that was looking really impressive. They were able to open up, get a man advantage, start to regroup over towards that A bomb site and back off from B. And just a straight kill through the smoke from Forest. No sound cue, no nothing, just a straight spam. Okay, Dignitas holding on. Now, WINSTRIKE, again, still a fairly strong T-sided economy. You've only got a couple of players where the reserve is looking low. In towards this ramp phase for the T's. Now, we have seen a lot of aggression around this B-stairs area of the map. Get Right is going to get mollied off. Take a bit of damage, too.
Damage done to both sides. Dignitas come out worse. Get Right on 66 points of health. Smoke's down. M4 trying to rotate out. Freiburg pushing up to the mid phase. Going to see nothing here. Nothing towards the B site either. This could be a big backstab. They are going to go towards the A site. Struggle to hold it for the CT camp, but there's a lot of backup here. 4 players to hold it. Backstab also coming in.
Oh, this could be big. This could be absolutely big. They've rotated all 4 players to this A bomb site, and they've got Freiburg in the backstab. They need to be able to try and deny this bomb plant. Nickelback isn't going to be able to escape.
And Lackey considering rotation away against Freiburg. Will he catch him off? Yes, he will. Okay. 4-on-4. They've regained control. Back to an even standing. Halzerk with an awkward spray against Krizin. Eventually comes up with that frag. Bondik backed up towards the ramp entrance. Utility coming in from the CT. He's going to try to get towards the side. Tap that bomb once. Bait in the spray bait in the position. The 2 kills come forward. And the Lion desperately trying to find the spray, but couldn't get it in. Halzerk takes the frag back. And Dignitas, 13 all. Back to evens against the T side.
big round, and it all comes off the back of the information. We see Freiburg aggressing out. Now, Get Right in the early stages of that round was at the B stairs. He didn't see anything. Freiburg then starts pushing out from mid. They gamble, rotate that A bomb site. A really strong read from Dignitas, and they set themselves up really nicely in the retake. Yes, Freiburg isn't able to find anything, getting caught off by Lackey, but in the 4-on-4, they make that successful. They force the T's out to the open, but Align forces the gunfight to start the round off.
Forest to fall, blinded by the flashbang. And a big kill for WINSTRIKE to start here. They need a good start. Got rifles aplenty, and the AWP getting taken out first is obviously a massive pick to find. Alliance staved off that AWP for the most of the half. Get Right, considering picking it up, going to start to re-aggress here. They've lost that first man. They will look to lose no more. Crizant. Contact out towards the mid-control, slowly and carefully for the moment, and meanwhile Dignitas have cut off any B-site hit that's not through mid in the stack.
Again, we're seeing a very, very similar setup from in that last round where Crizant sort of keeping his eyes towards the backline now. This is a lot of information to come up from the CTs, but Crizant can shut all of these rotations down from the B players.
They went for backstabs in the last round here towards the A site hit. They've only got one player to defend, though. They need one player to backstab, and Crizant does catch Get Right. It's all left to the AKs on the defensive side. Dignitas still in an awkward economical position, so they absolutely need to take this round again. They had to take every single round from here, basically. Incendiary's up, flashes go over. No player is blind on CT side. Time is ticking. The AWP looking towards upper, hoping to catch a player off guard. Nades up to receive. Crizant continuing the backstab. Halzer catches him for a frag back. Molotov's on site, delays the bomb plant for a moment. Lackey gets that in, takes a lot of damage from the nades, eventually goes down to a 3-on-3 in the post plant.
And we're in another post plant once again. WINSTRIKE have got that AWP of a line back to that sandbags area. Not really a lot of counter utility. No Molotov for sure to be able to force the T's out into the open. The smoke onto the bomb, flashbang coming out. Freiburg with the swing is going to be able to find the first, can't follow up. Bonding, and the line chimes together. 14 rounds now up for the WINSTRIKE side. And we've spoken about the economy so much in this game. The economy's looking awkward on a couple of the players for the dig side. They'll be forcing the issue going into round 28. A massive, massive post-plant hold coming out from WINSTRIKE.
But the damage is starting to catch up to that T side. You can see the rebuy coming in. Loads of players went down. Dignitas have to force here. M4's in on 3-2. SMGs is a weak buy up. The Lion's not going to get that opening kill on Forest this time. AK faces the Crizant, sees them coming out in the mid position. The nades up could do some damage. Actually completely evades them. It's going to be Halzer to open up the frag counts. Big kill to find. Grabbing an AK, extending so far to potentially bracket in the B site commitment from the stairs area.
Bringing that second player over to B. Forest is in a very, very big position. And it all just comes down to the two MP9 players. Get Right, trying to work on the edge of this smoke. Flashbang might come in for him to get aggressive.
What? Dropping against the Lion. Nickelback reads it. That could have been amazing to take the AWP out. And now Lackey starts striking. 4-on-3. Flashes to continue. Keeping Halzer blind and suppressed. Lackey is on site. Needs to get a line in for the bomb. Will smoke down as Exist goes next. Halzer falls quick. And Forest is the lone man left alive for the CT side.
Oh, what an absolute brawl this has been from WINSTRIKE. Even the play to make sure that Nickelback is defending his teammate of a Lion. And Forest just has to try and go for the save. I tell you what, Jay, I think this is done. I think this is over. WINSTRIKE are going to get to 15, and there is no money for Dignitas to work with. So many players staying alive. Lackey does so much work. His entries to that B bomb site were phenomenal.
I feel like you might be right here. Map point for WINSTRIKE to go to a third. And Dignitas have fought so well to bring this far. You know, they've fought so well to bring it this close. Just unable to get those rounds that finally take a lead away from the WINSTRIKE camp. The Molotov's down, Forest is burning. Call Smokey, he's got to get out of dodge. I think that Molotov may have missed and fall back down towards the lower ladder room, but either way, Forest has got to find Nickelback, gets that headshot in at least. So many CT's facing against him. Yeah, he goes down. That's a big, big loss. The only rifle they could have afforded here in round 29, and it's completely gone.
Yeah, look, that's huge from WINSTRIKE. They realize straight away, as soon as they hear the ticks and the molly, let's just try and hunt. We know how important it is if we could take him down. And Dignitas, we really haven't seen any convincing rounds from them in the second half. They've all been retakes. We've seen so many post plants coming out from WINSTRIKE. They are one round away from trying to take us to train. And yeah, the buy's looking awkward. You'd have to expect a bit of aggression to come out from the CT side, and for WINSTRIKE, they'll just be trying to play very passive in this default, waiting for the aggression, waiting for the overextension, because it keeps happening out towards mid and the B stairs.
And this time it's full control for WINSTRIKE, no contest for Dignitas in that mid area. The Crizzen just facing out towards the outer mid, around that corner potentially to find the players that are holding from a very passive angle, but for the most part it's just this ace stack as Forrest rotates to join his teammates from very awkward angles. Only Get Right holding the B site, also back passive at a very far away position. And a minute to go to the clock. WINSTRIKE are playing relatively passively here, but they have established the basic ramp control. They can walk off this to a round.
I need to make sure they're mulling off this position straight away. Bonding, no questions asked. Straight away, molly in. They'll know that at least one player's there of Halzerk.
Good flash in to blind them off. Will Exist find Nickelback? Yes, he will. That's a way to open things up. Got to get a second kill when he gets real close. Bondix low, as is Lucky to Light. This could still be a chance. Halzerk comes up with two. A Lion trades it back to 2-on-2, and they counter-rotate right back to the B site. WINSTRIKE not wasting any time or any more players with this A play.
Oh, but so are the CTs. Get Right and Freiburger rotating into B. Smoke going down. That's going to buy Get Right a bit of cover. The Ts need to push forward.
Deagle so close, hearing the footsteps right around him. Has no idea. Face up, kill comes through. Crizzen last man, he's so low, but he gets the double. 3 points of health for him, but he still wins the round and still wins the game for WINSTRIKE. We go to map 3.
Oh my goodness, what a clutch to come out from Crizzen in the end. They're being so incredibly low. And for WINSTRIKE, I tell you what, that T side, even though it was as close to as it was, we saw so many bomb plans coming through, so many exciting plays. And for Dignitas, they got close, Jay. They got really close to being able to get the 2-0. But the thing they struggled with the most was that economy on that CT side. They could never get it built. There were so many rounds where we saw them on the MP9s and the FAMASas and the Deagles, and it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, man, like, I think that they really messed up with the economy balance, yeah. Too many forced buys, too many issues where they had some very awkward buy-ups as a result. Ecos coming through that couldn't quite get the job done. And I don't know, man, I think Dignitas made a few mistakes that if they hadn't done, we could potentially be in overtime or even a map series victory for them. As it stands, though, Vertigo does go the way of WINSTRIKE. We go to a third map. Train is up next. It's the final map of the series, the final map of the day, the final map of the quarterfinals, so do not go anywhere. We return with Malta vibes after this. Welcome back to Malta Vibes. We're into our last map of the day, and our final series has gone quite the distance. Dignitas taking on WINSTRIKE, going all the way to Train as Dignitas went out on their respective map pick, WINSTRIKE went out on their respective map pick. Down to some very close affairs though today, Dwayne. It really could swing either way.
Yeah, look, it really can. And when I sort of looked at this video, sort of before we even started this series, I wasn't really sure about Train because for both teams, there isn't much of a track record. And if you kind of compare the pair with like some decent results recently, it is very similar. So I think it comes down to the on the day performance. But even with that, it's been very even between these two sides.
I mean, you take a look at the actual sort of particular sort of like, you know, the specifics in terms of like who they've sort of won against. And yeah, I know you're talking about there's not a lot of results to go off of. For me, I do favour WINSTRIKE in the context of Train because they've already got wins against the likes of Contact in Gamer Legion and even a close match against Simon, now known as K23. Dignitas, though, don't have such good results to speak of here. The last two maps they played were against Aves, both on, actually yesterday during the group stage of Malta Vibes. The rest of them, however, they've been massive losses. And, you know, the teams that they're losing to are like Budapest 5 and Forza and Mad Lions and Mouse Sports. And, yeah, you know, a couple of those teams are still pretty good. Yeah, you know, Mad Lions and Mouse Sports obviously being the two standouts. But losing to Budapest 5, 16-6, it does not set a good precedence here for this Dignitas squad.
No, it doesn't. I mean, look, I can give a bit of exceptions to this map. The reason, like, obviously Mad Lions and Mouse Sports, you don't even talk about that. Like, different caliber teams, right? Forza, to get 14 rounds against them, pretty impressive. Yeah. Against Budapest 5, I don't know what happened there. But at the same time, they lost against Budapest 5 in the best of 1 and in the best of 3 with a stand-in. So that would have probably just been, like, a rough day in the office. At least that's the way I look at it. The fact that you're losing to a team that you shouldn't twice, even with the coach standing in for them. So, look, I look at the veto and at least the past performances, I think that at least Dignitas have an edge going into Train. How much that edge is, though, Jay, I don't think it's a massive amount.
Yeah, this is going to be a brawl of the map. I'm certainly sort of figuring that this is going to go quite the distance. I think we could be seeing double digits, potentially even overtimes on the board. I mean, God forbid it's getting late over here. I'm really hungry. But you know, yeah, like I'm looking at this thinking that that's the most likely possibility. Like, you know, I think this could be a really close map based on what we saw over on Vertigo as well. Like, it definitely feels like Dignitas are ready to face up to the best of what WINSTRIKE are going to bring. And based off of Nuke, I'm certainly thinking the same vice versa can be said for WINSTRIKE against Dignitas. So, you know, I'm seeing quite a lot that could come out from this for the map up, and you know, even though it's not going to be the most confident level of Counter-Strike, it certainly I think will be scrappy. I think it could be close.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm thinking whoever loses is definitely going to get to double digits. I think we'll probably see the double AWPs being shown a lot more on a map like Train, especially on that CT side. Maybe we see Forest and Hauser picking it up on CT for the Dignitas side, and then for WINSTRIKE, maybe we see Lackey picking up that secondary AWP to pick to sort of back up a line. So kind of keen to sort of see how the double AWPs are going to come through. But look, for Dignitas, again, a massive amount of experience to them on paper, and you've got to think, you know, this is a high-pressure situation, final map in a series, it's quarterfinals time, there is going to be a lot of pressure. Yeah, you've still got a lot of experienced players on the WINSTRIKE side, but for Dignitas, you'd have to think that the mental factor isn't going to affect them as much as a team like WINSTRIKE will.
No, you're absolutely right about that. Like, they're experienced, like, to the core, you know, like you're talking about a team that obviously, you know, they've been to majors, they've won majors, you know, the core of this team are legends to say the least, you know, like there's nothing there's nothing you can do to deny that from them. The question is that experience going to be able to carry them through this final map of the day? The knife round is about to go live, Dweg, so a reminder to you all for the last time today. The Malta Vibes is brought to Gaming Malta, your home of gaming excellence. Dweg, last map, what do you think?
Yeah, look, I'm going Dig. I think Dig have got it over the bag. I don't think it's a lot. I'm going to go maybe like at 16-12, 16-13. I think it's going to be down to the wire again. We've seen it in the first couple of maps. I thought for Dignitas, their retaking ability, especially in that second half, was really strong. They made Vertigo very close. Yeah, there were some minuscule mistakes coming out here and there. But look, jumping into the knife round, jumping into the series, I think that we're going to have an absolute brawl, Jay.
Knife round, the side choice aside, CT will be the most obvious choice here, and it will go the way of the choice of Dignitas, so CT halves should all come through, and that does favour them. They have an overwhelming CT side over on the WINSTRIKE camp, so if they lose, or if they get dominated here on this T side, it could still be an opportunity here for a comeback. We could also be seeing a pretty simple affair if WINSTRIKE can just keep this one going, you know?
Yeah, look, I'm with you there. I certainly think that it really comes down to who can put up the most sort of presence in that CT side. It's going to come down to obviously Dignitas winning out the knife rounds and starting up on CT. I think for WINSTRIKE, it's all about putting some early added pressure on, bringing in as much momentum in from that second map as possible. Again, it is going to be difficult to bring that momentum forward considering how different Vertigo and Train are in terms of maps and how to play that T side, but you've still got the similar characteristic of, you know, some slow defaults, trying to see if you can get as much map territory as possible. And you know what, Jay? I'm hoping maybe not so much for a scrap fest, but a competitive last map. Oh my goodness, that's close.
Yeah, even LootBet don't know who to seriously pick on this one. Of course, the odds on screen down to the wire. 0.07 of a difference between the money lines of Dignitas and WINSTRIKE. So if you want to take advantage of those odds, last chance to do so. It is loot.bet. Over and take advantage of our 10 free CSGO spins and up to €100 bonus on your deposit via the banner in the below the Twitch channel. So, diffusing for Freiburg, utility set for Get Right. Someone's already ringing victory bell here on the CT cap. Utility for Nickelback. Actually, I just bought a Deagle instead. Holzak will take out Lackey instead. Krisen trading back on Freiburg. Damage has been done to the T-side camp as the Lion takes out Holzak. He just can frag back, find more damage on towards the Lion. 37 points of HP in a 3-on-3 scenario.
Dropping that bomb does make it impactful, but Forest now needs to chime into the action, especially with the fact that it's a man disadvantage up for Dignitas. HG coming out to the held position, landing perfectly onto a line, and so is the touch from Forest to couple with the USP to bring that round back, and that's what we want to see from Dignitas.
Crispy for the CT side. Big starts, obviously, for the Dignitas camp. Nice nades on, doing the damage, but as you mentioned, accurate as anything for Forest. First shots landing onto the heads, and now we have a pistol advantage of the CT camp. WINSTRIKE got up not to buy, despite the heavy investments and the heavy force backs we've seen from this camp so far. It'd be curious.
Dignitas trying to see if they can farm up a little bit of money. Got a UMP and an MP9 for Get Right and Exist to work with. And nothing really too aggressive from the CT side, whereas for WINSTRIKE, looks like they might just try and waterfall out towards this B bomb site, see if they can get a plant. They need to deal with Get Right up close, and straight away they'll know, right, that SMG's up close, so we need to try and deal with them straight away.
M4 upon the oil train. Now on Spall, spraying through. Gets Bondic. Get Right there to hold on with the UMP. Gets a Lion next as well, so nice double for the SMG. The M4 gets a triple in the end. Money game for Dignitas. Rifles come out for WINSTRIKE here.
Now looking to try and put some pressure on to start this last map of the series off. Kind of surprising as well, Jay, that we saw 2 2-0s for the first couple of games in the early morning, and then the evening games, both the last one and this one being a 3-mapper affair. Good to see the competitiveness coming out from the teams towards the lower portion of the quarterfinals. WINSTRIKE, though, have got the AWP on the back of a Lion. He's glass cannon, though, Jay. No armor to back him up.
Bondic with the AK, AWP the Lion, facing in, getting Get Right. Bit of an overextended shoulder bait there from the veteran. Freiburg does get Lackey down, however. The aggression towards T-Con works out well for an AK pickup. The CTs have vacated the B site, though. I'm not sure if they even want to go for this retake. Exists in the back that might catch Nickelback off guard, but the AK does get a headshot in, surviving at 10 points of health. Bondic gets Holzak to a 3-on-2 scenario. Bomb plant can't be secured, though. They're up in the apartments, and Freiburg could still win this out if he aggresses forward.
Nickelback is so low. Freiburg, though, surely hears the footsteps at one moment. Yeah, there it is. That's the sound cue coming forward. Needs to be able to stop this bomb from going down, but a Lion is going to be able to get a great recovery shot on his teammate, and Forrest has to save. There's really not much that he can do. And for WINSTRIKE, it almost seemed like they didn't expect that they were going to find that opening kill into a Lion. It took so long for them to pick up that bomb and bring it back over to B. A couple of great shots. He doesn't even take a single point of damage without armor.
Forrest left alone here to save his weapon, as you mentioned, down towards the Ivy area. WINSTRIKE with a big start here on T. And despite the lack of T-side presence they've had on this map in the past, the fact that they're doing so well here to start things off with the rifles is an encouraging sign, but it's the follow-ups where things are going to get real concerning for me.
For Dig, the economy is looking not great. Forest can drop an M4 over to Halzerk, or GetRight can drop an AWP if he wants to go for an AWP himself. I should be able to get a buy together going into round 4. WINSTRIKE seeing if they can continue a bit of pressure. A good last round there. We saw DIGNITAS getting very aggressive in the back lines, trying to deny that bomb from getting to the site. And it seemed like every single time that DIGNITAS have got aggressive, it worked out really nicely in that last map, but certainly not fantastically in that last round.
AK's AWP's in a standard. Scout out for Halzerk. Will look for a way in. I'm going to catch a headshot, most importantly for the Scout. He's mostly going to try to set up these rifles, though. If he can get those tags in, then DIGNITAS can have a couple of very easy picks on their board. But for now, no contact has been established.
Oh, good scout shot coming out from Halzerk. That's a great opening for Dig now to work with. And getting that 5-on-4 advantage, yeah. And even Lucky's taking a fair bit of damage. This is great stuff from Dig.
Damage to Lackey again, easy frag to be found by the M4s, and WINSTRIKE look a little bit lost on how to go for this execution. Looking towards the A site execute here with the set smokes. Connector coming down towards the cross as well. Over on the back of stopper here. Halzerk was not going to have any info on this, so still take blind fire. I think that smoke actually landed towards Ivy, so that's my mistake. Oh, wow, what a flick towards Prison. Lands that tag towards him. Freiburg eventually does go down. Exist gets the kill back. Nickelback close towards it. Exist doubles up as Halzerk falls. Prison goes down. 2 versus 3. 1 versus 3. Orb last man standing of Lackey. And he's got no way back into this round. DIGNITAS losing a couple of picks, but in the end, come out real good in the CT defense.
It's just really good work coming out from Halzerk. First of all, he gets a tag with the scout, follows up with a kill a little bit earlier into the round. And from there, DIGNITAS, the rotations come in incredibly quickly. They do a really great job of not overextending. We saw a lot of players sitting around that bomb train, peeking out, finding contact, finding info, and taking damage, and then just falling back, not overextending for any more than they need to. A good response as well for DIGNITAS as soon as they lose a round to follow up with one of their own, and that puts an eco status up for WINSTRIKE. They can't buy into this.
Yeah, eco round coming through from the T's, therefore this should be 4. The DIGNITAS easy cleanup with luck. Obviously we've seen plenty of good pistol upgrades go the way of WINSTRIKE. No force buy, obviously. 2 picks found against the Lion and bondik. I don't know why bondik was walking out there. I don't know what he hoped to achieve, but it works. 5-on-3 scenario, DIGNITAS in full control.
He had his knife out too, so yeah, I'm not exactly sure what bondik was going for, but well, for GetRight, he can be happy. Easy kill for him. Early pressure on the board from the Swedes onto the Russian side. And no one going down just yet on the eco. A couple of upgrade pistols, bit of armor here and there. And WINSTRIKE not being too successful so far in this eco.
AUG watching, GetRight drops the bomb for his 3k. Diegler Krisen doesn't do anything, Halzerk takes him down. Lackey also falls to Freiburg. And yeah, 5 players alive. Easy cleanup for DIGNITAS. A couple of damaged up players across their board, but nothing major, nothing they have to worry about. And the light comes through back from WINSTRIKE. AWP in for a Lion. AKs across everybody else. And it has been very simple rounds at the start of this matchup. WINSTRIKE will need to get something good on the board to find their second, lest start suffering to the heavy CT favor of DIGNITAS.
Still not seeing the AWP out for Dig just yet. Oh, that was very, very close from a Lion to be able to find the opener. And Forest aggressive in through the brown halls to that heaven position, waiting for a little bit of a contact from his teammate out towards ramp, making a bit of noise. The swing coming out. It's actually 3 players in the brown halls. The trade's coming out nicely for the CTs to hold on to a 4-on-3. And WINSTRIKE struggling to maintain control. Utility will still come out. Lackey's going to try and enter out of T-Con. Got Halzerk out of Sandwich. Expecting that player to be there, but turns on towards Exist. Eventually wins out that fight against Halzerk. 3-on-3 to return. Krisen finds Exist. Next M4 swing of GetRight. Trades it back to a 2-on-2. Bomb plot. Can't yet get secured. This AWP needs to cross out from Sandwich into a very dangerous area. He's got to face directly against the CT forces. A wrap back over towards E-Box, which he has time to do, to be fair.
Still a 2-on-2, and Dignitas are closing in the pincers. AWP fight. Forest wins it out against the line, drops that bomb. Lucky left at stopper that try find these frags. Good find, get right. The spray goes relatively well, but doesn't get the kill against him. Incendiary's back, not opting for the shoulder shot. And Dignitas slowly rotating a backstab in from Forest. This should be Lucky getting cleaned up.
You say that. Get right starting to reposition. A Forest going over to the B-bomb site. Very, very long-range angle coming out from Get Right. This is something, an angle that's very difficult to pre-aim. Lucky probably doesn't expect this for sure. Yeah, no way. Great angle being held from Get Right. Great reposition too. Realizes the fact where that bomb's dropped. And for WINSTRIKE, yeah, we saw a couple of crisp raw aim jewels in terms of the trading, but Allion had such a tough job trying to connect onto the Ivy players. They kept trying to bait out shots from him.
AWP in for Holzerk, M4's in, AK out for Forest and Freiburg. Upgrade rifles here. Of course, one-shot headshot potential for the CT camp. Not that it matters too much here. Most of the players in the WINSTRIKE side have no head Kevlar, except for Bondik. And even then, basic pistols, so there shouldn't be much contention here from WINSTRIKE. The start of this map-up has been very slow here for the T's. Nickelback facing up, seeing Get Right swinging, and Forest will catch off Bondik very quickly. Get Right gets a kill, doubles up against Lucky as well through the smoke. And Forest still here towards upper despite being tagged up, does go down towards the line, so AK gets recovered, and WINSTRIKE may find a way in.
A bit of overconfidence there for Forest, realizing that, well, he probably shouldn't have overextended that far. A boost up for a line does, well, at least spot out the player, but unfortunately can't take him down with the AK. And chucking it back over to Nickelback, considering the fact that he's got the armor out of the two. Very, very long sight line from Halzerk with that AWP, trying to keep eyes onto that pop dog position. They've stacked 3 players up in B for the CTs. So it's only going to be a matter of time until some rotation comes through, and that's Exist trying to back up Halzerk on that A-bomb site. And for WINSTRIKE, it's just trying to do as much damage as possible. Don't let this CT economy really start to build.
"30 seconds, Allion will play entry here with the Deagle. There's no one watching from Ivy, with the exception of Holzerk, who's very far passive, who's watching from Ivy. Not on the site. Exist takes Nickelback, Holzerk gets Allion. There's a 6-1 scoreline for Dignitas. So simple stuff coming in from the CT camp. And despite that, the money's not quite building up. The money can build up for you, though, if you try your luck at hellcase.com. Open some sick cases, get some sick skins. Use codes MODV and MODV15 for free money and free 15% refill bonuses. And our case partners at hellcase.com. Right, buy up coming in from Allion and his teammates over at WINSTRIKE. AWP with the AKs. And the double orb set up now for Holzerk and Forest.
Trying something a little bit different. Fast out from Kristen to get into the Olive position. I'm not sure if he would have been seen by that CT side. Holzerk very aggressive with this AWP. They need to make sure that someone has got eyes on Kristen.
They don't. He's found the orb, he's found 2. The lineup, that's an easy sequence. He even does some damage to Forest in the midst of the smoke. Knows roughly where he's at. The AWP swing is evaded. Kristen does more damage, trying to look for his triple kill. In the end, can't quite find it. Forest caught off guard by Lucky. And this time, one key position throws the entire defensive off kilter. Exist, last man left in a 1-on-5. Might get the exit on a Lion. Nade does not quite do the damage, but here in Pop Dog, Bondik will. And it's a second to the ball of the T side.
My goodness, that's an eye-opener. As soon as Dig go for the double AWPs, it just gets shut down immediately. They go for something very aggressive. Now, for the most part, Jay, on the CT side, we've seen a bit of aggression out towards Brown Halls, but over to A, it's been very deep. It's been very passive into the site. Kristen gets away with a couple of kills and just even pulls a distraction away from Forest to allow Lucky to get pretty much free Ivy presence. Tech pause to come through. And for Dig, that was probably a big slap in the face that last round to go, right, okay, yeah, we went 6-1 up. We were feeling pretty confident. We've got Get Right on 13 kills, but we can't slow down. We need to always have constant pressure and need to be able to deal with Kristen. There was no Molotov out towards that Olive position to stop any kind of anti-rush. And Kristen just, he repositions himself absolutely perfectly.
And a big round to find there for WINSTRIKE. Need to get some momentum going back on their T side. It's been very, very slow. And very easily sort of adjusted for and, you know, picked apart by Dignitas' defense. small tech pause coming in now. I'm imagining this may, well, I'm not sure whose it is for. We haven't seen much more tech pauses coming in over the course of this map up. Didn't know who took the earlier one over on Vertigo, but it seems like it was on the Dignitas side and they didn't go for the buy-up. They're now back in with their rifles out. An SMG for Freiburg, interestingly enough. Enabling Forrest to buy because he was the player on $1,400. So yeah, the economy is going to get limited though. Again, Dignitas having some money issues over the course of their map up so far today.
Now, you've got to think for the Dignitas guys, like, to find a response here would be absolutely massive. To be facing off against a very, very low reserve money line, it's going to be awkward if you don't find a win here. A WINSTRIKE, though, realizing the fact they've been able to do a fair bit of damage onto the CT economy very fast from Bondic into the brown halls. No rotation has come out from the CT side to B just yet.
Freiburg taking early damage here, not much of it. Contact players lead to the flashbangs, the execution coming in from WINSTRIKE, or at least that's what it looks like. The two players out of upper, though, unsupported from the ramp control. They're going to try and find a flank position against the player back, a stopper, and Forrest still gets bonded. Get Right still gets Nickelback. Drops that Born Forces line into a very awkward angle. Crizzen is still pushing up, though, towards the back of the yellow train. They have bomb control and information. They know where the T side are going towards here. 5 players stack up, and now they're here to rotate the position. AK takes his challenge. Freiburg gets Crizzen down now. 2 left standing for WINSTRIKE. No idea the player up is there. Lackey does respond, but Exist and Holzer get 2 picks back. A team ace from Dignitas to confidently shut down WINSTRIKE.
That was a beautiful round. That's really all it comes down to. We see Get Right playing B solo and just realizing the fact, okay, I'm just going to play very aggressive. I'm just going to keep turning from these flashes. I'll try and get my teammate of Forrest to try and at least come in through connector to try and assist me in the fact that I've heard the Heaven players coming out. I've heard the utility too. It just focuses attention on one area of that ramp rather than 2 areas at the same time. A WINSTRIKE, okay. Off to a bit of a slow start on T. Ooh, even a bit of damage done to Bondic through the spam of Exist.
And a utility plays here for Dignitas. I'm surprised that Freiburg has not been given the chance to upgrade his weapon, or I guess the money's still not there for Dignitas, so it can be understandable, but still with an SMG in play versus full AKs across the WINSTRIKE board. Could be a bit of a problem for the defensive, but it didn't do too much against them previously, so Dignitas happy to take that SMG with the minutes of the clock. WINSTRIKE establishing their default plays, but no contact established in the early part of these rounds at all. Partially out of Dignitas' passiveness, but also WINSTRIKE's tentativeness to take a peek up.
A fake flash coming in for WINSTRIKE to get that pop door control and the double boost. Out towards Ivy, the flashbang's perfect for the MP9, and we spoke about this weapon and how it could get very awkward with the rifles. Well, actually it works out to find the opener for Dignitas and probably forces WINSTRIKE into an A play now.
Okay, looks on. Nice tight angle as well with the smoke giving him extra cover. Freiburg gets Lackey to a 5-on-3. Exist on site, ready for Nickelback. Nickelback wins out the trade kill and doubles up the turn 90 degrees. Back to evens we will go. Bomb site has been relatively secured here. The bomb plant can be received, but Holzerk is still trying to deny it. The outface from Allian gets him down though.
This is getting very awkward now for the CTs. They had a 5-on-3 advantage. Now it's all falling apart into the 2-on-2. Get Right's undetected, but now he's been seeing the damage onto the AWP of a line, and they work together to find it. It's all down to Bondic to get this 1-on-2. That's the first, tries to reposition and fall a little bit back, but no, he starts to overextend out through the 5-6 sandwich area. Forrest with the swing, and Forrest wins it out on just 12 points of health. Can pick up that AWP, get back to the bomb for the defuse. WINSTRIKE. I'll tell you what, look, that looked awkward from the get-go. We saw a couple of great kills coming out from Freiburg, but from there they brought it back but weren't able to hold on the post plant.
Lead taken on Dignitas' part early on. Now the half is basically under their control. Warps in for Holzerk, 4 rifles out for Dignitas. They took a lot of damage. Of course, the bomb plant comes through for WINSTRIKE, so they can see a big buy coming through for them. 4 rifles across both boards, but both economies hanging in the balance. So a big round for both teams to take. And again, it just continues to repeat itself. Passive stuff coming in from WINSTRIKE's default.
Yeah, WINSTRIKE need to find some responses here. They need someone to find just impact in terms of opening kills. Now, Lucky's been able to sneak into this Olaf position. Few times that WINSTRIKE have tried to go for it. And back green, Ivy Smoke to try and assist. Maybe see if they can force Dignitas aggressive. Halzerk's looking for an opening fight. Both AWPers missing out.
The kill comes in from Halzerk eventually to catch Lucky instead. Aligned on 25 points of health. So all in all, the CTs do win out on the damage basis and of course the man advantage. bondik in Pop Dog though, look at how far pushed up he is. Got to exist with his back turned out in the open. Now got to focus on this player with the smoke about to clear. Flashes continue to come forward. He takes Nickel back down. Alliant also strikes in. Halzerk to fall. 3 on 4. 2 on 4 as bondik barely survives his encounter with Freiburg. But him, Alliant, and Nickelback, all 3 players tagged up. Crizin, the only man that's not. M4 of Get Right continues looking in from Connector. Crizin starts getting hyper-aggressive. Dignitas might consider a save here. Considering how far back they are, it may be the best call.
Yeah, you'd certainly think so, right? But they're still trying to go for this, Jay. WINSTRIKE, I'm not sure if they've been able to see any of the players just yet. Crizin, though, this is perfect timing, especially with the flashbang. There's the first kill, and knows exactly where Forrest is. They can try and go hunting, try and take him down. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I mean, they'll probably still have to force right. They'll get 1900 in the next round exist, and Get Right won't have enough money to buy. Money troubles again for Dignitas. What's the play here? The bottom line is they won't be able to get a buy into the next round, especially onto exist and Get Right unless they force. Yeah, see, that's the thing, is like, if you're going to force this round, why didn't you just save onto the 2 M4s?
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird decision-making process there from Dignitas. I mean, they've done this a couple of times on the last map as well, so I don't know what the calling is there from exist, but whatever it is, just throwing the money off again a lot here for Dignitas. Deagle set, of course, the scout in for Halzerk. AWP with AKs and the MAC-10 of Lackey. WINSTRIKE's buy is also not looking fantastic, but it's certainly a far cry from what Dignitas have. Deagle Get Right, gets in. Nickelback takes him down though. Taking away all the B-site presence from the CTs, and small execution coming in from Lackey to keep their attention drawn towards the A site and away from the bomb where it's actually going to get planted here. The MAC-10 sacrificials, it doesn't matter if he goes down.
Even for bondik, he's pushed so far into CT spawn to cut off all of these rotations, and now they'll know it's over to the B site. A dig, probably just try and save onto these weapons rather than try and go for the retake. A 4th on the board now for WINSTRIKE, and I tell you what, look, it has been a very slow start from this area core. There's no doubt about it in this 3rd map of Train. But if they can bring it back, if they can start to put maybe 6 rounds up on T, I think they'll be very happy with the recovery that they were able to bring forward.
It was a bit of a weird sort of force play, eco, non-investment round from Dinger. I don't even know what you call it at this stage. Like, whatever you want to call that, it was not going to work there for the CT camp. And for round 13, they're probably not going to be able to afford another buyback here. I mean, a force buy would be nonsensical in my opinion. And yeah, they won't invest. Just the Scout and the MAC-10 that was safe in the last round being the only major automatic or rifle weapons in play. AKs, AWPs out of standard for WINSTRIKE, so back into round 13 we will go, and WINSTRIKE are at least making up some of the ground here on T side.
Yeah, look, they certainly are. I'm playing with a fair bit of confidence now. Oh, even for Lucky, seeing the player in towards Pop Dog, but no! The kills still work out in favor of the CT side, but Alliant just dropping down, getting a couple of kills with that AWP, and siphoning off this round. There is a backstab to come out from Get Right. A little bit, I don't know, what do you say? A little bit undetected. I mean, they don't know he's there, but at the same time, what kind of support does he have? None, Jay. Absolutely no support.
And that tends to be the case when all your teammates are dead, but you know. USB for Get Right, nothing in for him in this round. He might look for an exit frag. If he gets bondik and Alliant, that'd be fantastic to just destroy the economy of WINSTRIKE. Well, given the high amounts of money that they'll have here, I don't think it will force them down to an eco off the back of this, off the back of the next rifle, but could well be enough to do some damage at least. 5 to the board of the T side though, and that's the main thing for them. A couple of good rounds, and it's now swung momentum back to their favor. Dignitas still have the half. But now 10-5 is the best scoreline they can get going into their T side. We will see a buy coming through here for the next round again. This is the main concern for Dignitas. The rifles coming in full. I think they can afford the AWP. It will be a bit of a risk if they wanted to go. It'd have to be glass cannon for sure.
Yeah, you need 5,400 to be able to get the AWP and the Kevlar out. So yeah, not gonna, at least the body Kevlar, not gonna happen. I'll tell you what, we haven't really seen the AWP out all too much for this dig side. It's mainly just been the rifles, and whenever we have had a scouted weapon, or at least a scoped weapon, it has been that scout on Hauserk. Glass cannon out for Forest actually going into round 14.
He does go for it, okay. Would have thought he wouldn't have done it, but no. Towards Ivy, he'll just hold very, very passive here on the site. Freiburg's going to be the main aggressor here, backed up by the AWP. Flash in, sees Lackey. Lackey gets the kill instead. And meanwhile, action towards the outer position here over of the old hell area. Krisen facing forward of the line, overcooks that flick on the player that gave up his position. No kills going back the way of WINSTRIKE, but they found that opener on Freiburg at least.
Now, they still don't really know about Krisen though, so the timing on this could be perfect, and all the kills come through. All the kills come through. Forrest is the last one left, trying to save onto this orb. They really won't have a lot to bring into that next round. What a round from WINSTRIKE. Dig. Wow, they just got absolutely picked apart there. And we even saw to start that round off, the aggression out from Ivy, the fact that Lackey wins out that fight, even being blind, is huge. And from there, the kills just trickle in out of nowhere.
That's going to wreck the economy of Dignitas once more going into round 15. WINSTRIKE have really brought this back from the brink.
Yeah. What was it, 8-2 down? Like that's
at one
big.
point, I believe.
No. There were certainly 2 rounds, I reckon.
Hold on, let me verify. No, you're right, actually. It was 6-1.
Give me a medal.
It was 6-1. Shut up. 8-2, you're right about that. WINSTRIKE got 4 in a row and absolutely destroying Dignitas' economy basis. Again, they've not done a great job of managing that, so that's the end result. Scouts in, CZs. AWP and AKs out for the WINSTRIKE camp. XM 1014 coming in from Get Right. That's probably going to be the highlight of the buy. Other than Hallzerk, everybody else on Dignitas, they have pistols for the final round of the half.
We've seen it come out a few times. It's had its brief appearances over the course of today, especially on Nuke. Get Right going up towards the Brownhall's position in heaven. Needs to make sure that he's not touching those flames and giving any unnecessary information forward. And all just comes down to timing. Now, there is a potential of a teammate trying to flash him into Brownhalls to go for an aggressive peek. Oh, Bondek. How long are these 2 players going to hold this angle? That's what I'm kind of thinking.
Who is going to break first? Who is going to take that opening swing? And who's going to win it out if they do so, you know? Like, it could be the entire round, well, at least till the Brownhall's execution comes through, because that's where WINSTRIKE are going towards here. 3 T-Side individuals back on their way back. Smokes up, Nickel back. His eyes on Get Right, ready for Bondek. Oh, couldn't get him down. AK gets that kill in instead. 5-on-4 situation. An auto shot, he goes down. WINSTRIKE taking one of the only rifles they had out of CT hands.
Yeah, needed to get the headshot there for Get Right. Not going to happen. Now, they are able to stack up the B bomb side at least. Flashbang can be perfectly timed for Exist too, if it comes out at the right moment, but no, it actually blinds Exist. Forrest gets a couple on the Deagle, or at least with Hauserk chiming in, so it's a 3-on-3. Could be a 3-on-2 if they take down a line.
Couldn't land the kill shot. Freiburg gets lucky over at Pop Dog. That might be their way in. Forrest moving in, top of the smoke, sees a line, sees Krisen, finally takes the AWP down. Krisen, low HP, has got to grab the bomb, get it planted in 15 seconds, and WINSTRIKE have bottled this final round of the half. That should have been all theirs. Force by with pistols and everything for Dig, but they still come out on top to secure 9-6 to turn away the half.
Well, for WINSTRIKE, they wanted to go A. We saw the fact of they go, hang on a minute, they've stacked up B. Let's just rotate in through Pop Dog. As soon as Lucky goes down to Freiburg, they go, yep, no, we're going back to B. So it was a little bit awkward there for the WINSTRIKE side. But I think 6 rounds on T after being down that big of a deficit, I think it's a very strong recovery and something that can certainly help them going forward, especially if they get off to a good start in that second half. But for Dig, to put 9 rounds up on CT, I think they'll be very, very happy with that.
WINSTRIKE now over going to their CT side, and again, I remind you of the basis of their CT halves. Their round win differential is 68% to CT side. So despite the odds that that our betting partners at Loot Bet are going to give you favoring Dignitas, I reserve judgment until at least the pistol and conversions before we see exactly what WINSTRIKE have got to pull out of the hat here. Kevlar in, utility set for Crizzen. Freiburg, utility of the T side camp, a single smoke and a flashbang. I believe he may have dropped a P250 and DD has to Forest. And Dignitas goes straight into the apartment set towards the Brown Halls hit.
Looking to see if they can get to double digits pretty quickly. Whereas WINSTRIKE are looking to see if they can convert the first pistol. Now, this HE, if it's timed perfectly, could do a mass amount of damage. They're all grouped up. They're going to just waterfall out from heaven.
Oh, he has no idea about this. Smoke coming in, he actually opts not to use the utility just yet. Flashes over from a Lion, going to try and take that face in. Hallzerk takes out Crizzen for one good frag. Backline completely decimated by Dignitas as a Lion falls. Bondic on low. Lackey and Nickelback rotating out. Flashing from Get Right. Finding his way in towards Connector sees Nickelback. Quick headshot is going to be landed. And Lackey and Bondic have basically got no way back into this one. Foresters go falling. But a bomb plant secured. Dignitas forcing WINSTRIKE so far away from the default plant position. Therefore, this is a pistol going the way of the T side.
Crizzen didn't get to use any of his nades, Jay. That's the most unfortunate thing for WINSTRIKE in that round, is that there's no way of stopping that heaven play. For Dignitas, they just put a simple smoke down towards Con. They get very aggressive. 4 players swinging out from heaven, and they just catch Crizzen completely off guard with a nade out. Couple of great shots too. We saw Get Right getting very aggressive, even trying to slip in through CT, or in through Connector, I should say. Bondic is going to take at least a couple of kills, but it doesn't make the biggest of differences in the world. Probably see a Force Buy coming through for the WINSTRIKE side. Big round from Dignitas. And obviously being able to win out that Force Buy, Jay, was able to get them the 9th. Now they're up to 10.
Yeah, big rounds being found by Dignitas, and somewhere they shouldn't really be able to win them realistically. AK's Mac 10's in for the Dig side. A force back coming in from WINSTRIKE here with their Marson Scout set. Burst through from Forest, gets Bondic to 2 kills. Nice and easy. Getting rid of some of the main firepower weapons as well of WINSTRIKE. A Lion with a Scout held back to the back line. You can see his shaky aim. He's not confident in his stance here on the defensive. Nickelback does find Hallzerk and land exists head. Forest finally trades it, gets his 3k in. Crizzen held to the back line, reveals his position. And the Lion long rotating back out towards this Ivy presence, or at least towards this A2 presence. Can't see anything though. Dignitas have a bomb plant. They don't have to aggress.
Yeah, you've got to think for WINSTRIKE, it's going to be really tough, especially with the swing coming out from Freiburg. Not really much that a Lion can do there. Nickelback looked like he was trying to bring that round back, Jay, getting a couple of great kills with the Deagle. Even for a Lion, escaping is going to be a bit of a tough ask. 12 HP, saving out towards CT spawn. The Force Buy not being successful. And unfortunately, that means for WINSTRIKE, it's going to delay being able to get the rifle round through. 11 rounds now up for the Swedes. And you've got to think pressure is certainly starting to build now for WINSTRIKE.
Many a good Force Buy round from this Kazakh core, but this was not one of them. Despite Nickelback's great efforts, you could have thought that that kill there could have been a turning point in that round, but it was not. Dignitas still held control. And as you mentioned, an eco got to come through. A Lion just saving that Scout being the only main weapon in play. Zeus out for Crizzen could do something here, but have my doubts about that. Nade stack in towards T-Con. Damage done to exist in minimal amounts. Only a Mac 10 that falls low. Makes his way out towards the Ola position as well. Going to draw their attention. Try bring players back over towards the A-site play. Crizzen with the Zeus. Only player defending B gets that 1 kill on Get Right, but Hallzerk and Forest quick to respond. Exist does get taken back to a 3-on-3 context, but again, Mac 10's only dropping for the ET side. Nickelback on the backstab is dealt with, and Dignitas have 12 to their board.
Oh, Nickelback, you could see that he wanted to try and wait, see if he could find a little bit more, but a good swing coming in from Freiburg. And a bit of an expensive round off just a Nico. Lucky with this Mac 10. If he can get one more kill, that would certainly make a big amount of impact in the future. 12 on the board, though, for Dignitas. A Lion looking to go for the AWP into the following round. Do they go double AWPs? Well, Lackey doesn't have enough unless he goes glass cannon. Now, Nickelback can drop an AWP over to Lackey. Unless Nickelback wants to go himself. I don't really remember him being too much of an AWPer, however. Decisions, Jay. Looks like they're just going to go with a single AWP.
Outside here, the AK a get right, looking on towards the back line, seeing players left and right. Nades up, doing damage. Bondic actually get the opening 2 kills. And the Lion flicked back for his third. Bomb dropped, exists, last man standing. And the Lion's creeping in like a shark, smelling blood in the water. But exists gets out of dodge, gets rid of the AWP as well. But surely can't fight out his position. A Galil in his hands. And a Lion going nuclear to shut them down.
And I'll tell you what, Jay, like we've had the chance of casting a Lion's career for what, last couple of years or so, and one thing that is sort of always sort of come through in terms of talking points for a Lion is, yeah, sometimes he's not like the most consistent AWPer, but he can go absolutely crazy. And I think that's the one big difference between him and Hulzerk, at least in this series, is that Hulzerk's been very consistent, been finding picks, you know, every so often, every few rounds, where a Lion, it just takes that one round for him to go absolutely manic. Those 3 shots just came in so damn quickly, and this is one massive turning point for WINSTRIKE to be able to close out their 7th round, especially if they can keep all 4 players alive. Oh, I love it. I love it, Jay.
And that is a confident way to get yourselves back in the game, especially for a Lion. The nades did quite a lot of damage with that one, but it was the AWP that shone bright. Look at that sequence. Unreal stuff. And there you go. It's the way back in for WINSTRIKE. Will they continue to keep it on board, especially with the buy from Dignitas again not looking great? Freiburg has got no rifle, no SMG, just basics on pistols, I believe. Their Deagle set for him, yeah, so... Dignitas, in theory, do still have slightly better firepower, but obviously with that limitation on that one player, it could be exploitable. The AWP facing in for Lion does not get that pick, though.
In saying that, though, Dig don't do a lot of damage at all in the spam, only taking him down to 76. Now, if an AWPer normally hits that shot, he should go down to about 30, 40 points of health, especially with the double swing coming out from Dig towards Brown Halls. A little bit disappointing they weren't able to do any more damage, but they do get the info on where that AWPer is. A flashbang into Pop Dog to get Lucky a bit of information. Doesn't see anything.
Resist slowly creeping up here towards the Ivy presence. Nades on his position, but we can tag him and Freiburg down. Indeed they do. First in with the M4 and Nickelback. The smoke just go down to siphon him off as the real sight hit comes through. Splits in towards the A play. Flash is evaded. Lackey watching alongside Bondic here. Another flash comes out. It gets evaded here as Nickel and Lackey get the 2 opening frags. No trades coming back from Dignitas. Finally get right, gets Lackey down. So 4-on-2 situation. AWP watching. Nickelback gets the secondary kill of his round. And Hulzerk is the last man left. Getting 1 pick back. 15 seconds though. Bomb's on his back. No chance for a rotation. Needs to get all these kills at this stage. And Nickelback will close it out with a 3K.
And you mentioned, Jay, in that halftime about sort of the percentages and what have you of what we've seen in the past, in the last 3 months for WINSTRIKE on this CT side. We've now just seen 2 gun rounds in a row that have looked damn dominant. 4 players staying alive in the one before, 3 in that last. An opportunity now for the CTs to start building up that bank. They've got 2 AKs to work with as well. Moneyline's completely wrecked from Dig, so they'll just be able to bring in some Glocks. And the lead that they had that was... at one point, quite massive, is now starting to close. 'Cause, 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 'cause
Nade up, well timed from Chris. Oh, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of kills. Easy. 9 on the board of WINSTRIKE, back within the 3-round deficit of the Dignitas lead. Eco came out for the T side though, so they can buy back rifles here.
Big damage. Obviously, Chrism being able to put down the incendiary towards ramp, dealing with Freiburg, bringing in Lucky as a rotation. Very nice indeed from WINSTRIKE. Looking pretty comfortable so far on CT after losing the pistol. Actually, a double eco to come out for Dignitas. Now they could have bought here, Jay. They had enough money to go for a buy investment, but no AWP on that T side, or at least no potential for an AWP. They're just going to go for the Tech 9s, bit of armor, bit of utility, and try and get a very strong buy going into the next.
Obviously, the Dignitas side still working in to get a bomb plant here. That's probably the best thing that they can hope for in this round. The MAC-10 and Get Right will play entry. Everything else will come barreling in after him. All the utility, execute coming in. Third player and fourth player on rotate. Nade up towards upper. Will do his damage to Forest. He puts some Molotov down towards the default position. And WINSTRIKE held off and suppressed, but all 5 players are going to rotate back here. Bomb plant can still be secured as they take out the player in the back. Krisen's still on site though, gets 1 pick. Get Right trades it back. 4 on 3. Freiburg and Get Right are super duper low, and Bondnik can find the frag on towards Freiburg and Forest for it. So bomb plant denied. Backstab of Get Right getting a bit overzealous, making his way out of connector. The bomb's been dropped as well. The CTs know exactly where it is. 45 seconds, and actually Get Right could get a bit of damage if he wasn't being checked here by a Lion. I say that actually, and a Lion turns his back towards him. So keep your eyes on that CT spawn. And Get Right could be in with a frag.
Oh,
no, Lion shuts him down. No scope for it as well. Exist, seeing one back behind White. Gets that dingle shot, so damage has been done. Drops in, does not get nickel back. Close, but no cigar.
Look, that was decent. That was a very, very decent round. Yeah, they don't get a bomb plant, but they do a hell of a lot of damage to the CTs. WINSTRIKE now. This has got to be the big tester for them. And facing off, you would expect the AWP from Halzerk on that T side. AKs for the rest of them. Full utility sets coming up for everyone. Halzerk missing 1 nade, but that's not going to make too much of a difference. A Lion. He's got a bit of a test here now, Jay, because Dignitas have got that AWP on the T side, something we haven't really seen from them.
Smokes up, nades on. Doubles back over to the corner position. Forest back to behind the wood boxes. Flash in, 2 players to find. Forest only gets 1 pick before he's traded back by Lackey. So 4 on 4. Smokes down, bomb dropped. No commitment from Dignitas just yet. Not going to lose control of that device. As Freiburg falls next in Pop Dog, Lackey potentially giving another one where you want against Forget Right. Blind facing in. Does win it out, but that's still pretty dangerous here.
Yeah, that was a big off angle coming out from Lackey to at least find the first. He probably could have fallen back towards E-Box and given himself a little bit more of a chance, but looks for a little bit more. Doesn't quite come through. And now Lion's getting aggressive with this AWP, pushing even further forward into T-Con. Now, Halzerk has that bomb in towards the showers. They go over to the B bomb side. If a Lion peeks any further forward from T-Con and sees nothing, he'll be able to call out the information to the B players because they've already stacked in B.
Times of the essence here. 2 players are set towards that B site. If Dignitas can take this and overwhelm this defensive, then this could be an easy plant, an easy secured round. And it's so low on the timer. If WINSTRIKE get the bomb planted down, that could be enough. Facing in, AK drops out. Prison still gets the kill. Exist trades it, but Nickelback finds him. That should be enough. Halzerk got to get right towards the bomb site, get the bomb plant down immediately on bomb train. Nickelback will see him, force him off. He's won the round. Halzerk just securing the bomb plant in time. Oh, he just about does it on for the clutch. Nickelback denies him though. And WINSTRIKE still hold the defense. Great stuff from the back line, better stuff from the retake.
I tell you what, that looks so awkward from Chris, and he had a nade out and somehow was able to win out a fight from a player dropping down from heaven. That makes so much of a big difference for Chris, and that he finds a kill there and drops that bomb, making it even more difficult for Halzerk to be able to at least try and bring that back. Now, the bomb plan's going to help them with the money line. And they're going to take a tactical pause, Jay. They had a very, very big lead. What was it, 12-6 at one point? Now we're looking at 12-11. Getting a bit out of hand here, you would have to say.
A bit. DIGNITAS had a 12-6 lead. WINSTRIKE are looking good, to say the least. I mean, the defensive is certainly what I expected it to be. Again, you don't score 86% of your rounds on CT side for no reason. Limited results and other stuff aside. WINSTRIKE. AWP in for a line, the standard set of rifles set. The money is bolstered beyond belief for this CT camp as well. DIGNITAS are going to have a hard time going forward. Smokes up, nades on Crizin. The M4 set here. Flashes over, spray through. Get right, doing a lot of initial damage here towards Crizin. Blind on 19 HP. They won't know they've done that just yet, but it will make the hit easier.
It certainly will, and bo3 really needs to be able to support. They might even think about bringing 3 players over to beat a Crizin on so low HP. It's going to be really difficult for him. He needs to put that incendiary down towards ramp, and he does.
Nade on position as well. bo3 tries to make his way in from connector. He's setting ready with incendiaries going back from the T side camp. Flash completely evaded by bo3. The second frag does come through as Get Right takes him down, opens up the round. Lots of players being seen by Nickelback, but only gets away with 1 kill. The trades continue. The AWP shot of a Lion does not land. Crizin gets the player at upper though. 3 on 3. Shots continue to ring out from the CT camp as the bomb plant does get secured. And Holzerk burning a little bit here over at the marshmallow position. Exist also taking damage. As the man advantage does tip the favor of DIGNITAS. The HP is slowly whittling away for DIGNITAS. It does not matter though. Exist and Freiburg coming against Lackey and the Lion. Take them both down and secure 13.
I tell you what, that was looking pretty scary for the Swedes. There were so many players in that B bomb side, but the utility was fantastic. We see bo3 being completely blind on the swing out for the Ram players. They try and get very aggressive. We even see the duel towards Heaven going down and not going the way of Lucky's favor. And we spoke about how strong the money line has been for WINSTRIKE. Now look at the reserve, Jay. Yeah, Lions on 1800, but for the rest of them, it is very, very low. So for DIGNITAS, if they win this round right up here, you'd have to expect that it's probably going to be an eco to come out from WINSTRIKE. They probably won't have enough to buy again.
Forest needing to get 2 kills out here over at the T-Con area. Smoke still yet to fade. They've got a few more seconds on it. Lackey going to play contact against him. He wins out the fight. Big kill to find as well. Re-Smoke down to hold on to T-Con control. So Preston from splitting in or gaining an early hit and execution out towards the A site. Freiburg blind. Takes out bo3 though. Secures us back to even to the 4-on-4.
Yeah, that's a big response coming out from Freiburg. They needed someone to make a play, and the T-Con players, considering it was smoked and locked out, there really wasn't much that they could do. That's a big answer back from Freiburg. And if Lackey overextends, this could be 2 kills. Freiburg. Flash coming in, doesn't blind him, that's huge. That is absolutely massive for the T's.
Nickelback still here towards E-box, 45 seconds. A lot of utility coming in towards the A play. They are committing to this one full frontal. Freiburg spotted, Get Right still there. Orb of a Lion needs to land on these players, burning towards the back of the bomb train. Crizin also tagged extremely low, but it's an incendiary out. Get Right's right on the bomb train, doing damage. Crizin runs out of ammo, needs the USP to get the kill, and Exists snuck behind Stopper, all left to a Lion. The AWP to clutch this retake. It's not going to happen. Holzerk shuts him down, and DIGNITAS continue the hype train right into their 14th round. WINSTRIKE have no money. They have to go for an eco here.
Oh, that sucks. It's cruel. It's cruel. The money line has hurt them so badly. And now they're going to take a tactical. You've got to make a decision here. You force. It's a risky one, but then you don't have to play for OT. Otherwise, just try and go in for the eco, get the rifle round through. Oh, man. WINSTRIKE have really been able to put up a pretty strong defensive, especially in the gun rounds in this second half. But it's the economy that's ruined them. What a big play from Freiburg. The flash coming in for Lackey to try and swing into Pop Dog doesn't go far enough to blind off Freiburg. And from there, they just trade out evenly. 14-11. And they're going to eco. They're not going to force here. They're going to play for OT.
An encouraging change of pace. The WINSTRIKE I know would have said, sod it.
Yeah.
Gone straight in with the SMGs and upgrade pistols and Kevlar and whatever utility you could scrape together. And just deny. Molotov. Forest, the AK coming out. Utility in from the T side line. AK swings out, get right, gets Nickel back. Turn around with the USP, taps through a Lion, gets one frag in the exchange, but it all comes up Dignitas. Lucky a Lion 4 versus 2 against them. Bomb plant we secured. Lucky catches Freiburg, does not deny the bomb plant though, so not much can be gained out of this one. Dig over Lion, trying to do damage. I doubt he'll be able to clutch this though. If he does, then, well, I'll be speechless at that one. For now, it's just damage being done towards the player up top of blue. That is Holzuk with the AWP. Gets the kill in the end. Map, match, and quarter-final point here for Dignitas. 1 round to make it into the semis. 1 round to face off against Forza in the next stage of the tournament. To buy back from WINSTRIKE to stop that from happening and grind to OT.
Oh, look at the buy, though. Yeah, they've got the M4s. Yeah, they've got the AWP onto a line. There is hardly any utility, though, and there is no kit. So for WINSTRIKE, they need to be making sure if they allow a post plant to come through, they can't allow to waste time. They need to be very quick. So something that Nickelback needs to be calling out to his teammates. A stack into the A bomb site, only leaving a single player. Early utility. This could be a quick play to outer.
It is. AWP of Alliance sees them crossing, will now call it out to his teammates. There's 4 players on this site, and Lucky starts to aggress. Freiburg 10 to 54. Coming down to the headshot on Lion, gets a blind shot on Exist. Lucky doubles up, Forest finally trades it, but Botnik's there for a response, and a double, and WINSTRIKE stay alive. Not ready to fall just yet. 3 rounds to OT, and Dignitas, their money line is broken once again.
And what was that from Freiburg? Just pushing out from the T-con smoke, dropping that bomb, taking unnecessary duels. That was one of the quickest rounds we've seen in terms of aggression from Dignitas. It does not work out at all. They're forcing the issue going into round 28. Yeah, oh boy. This could be very, very interesting, Jay. They lose this, they'll be able to eco for the next and buy into round 30. WINSTRIKE, can they bring this back? AK's on the T side, a Galil up for Exist. Double duel setup out from ramp to try and a bait and switch with that AWP.
A lot more up on this buy than what I expected from Dignitas. Exist being the main issue, of course, with the Galil set with a Lucky utility, but AKs and AWPs across the board, so maybe not as broken as I initially implied, but get right faced in, dealt with by Crizzen. That's an easy kill for WINSTRIKE to find. No utility support, and still he gets the headshot off. Still he wins the fight. And there is no chance for a trade or a response from Dignitas. Passive across the entire rest of the map. No one else in Brown Halls. And they got to work off this 5v4.
Now, one thing we didn't see from that POV is as soon as Crizzen takes that duel, Nickelback wide swings from heaven. So he sees nothing. He sees absolutely no information in Brown Halls. He goes, right, it has to be an A play. Let's rotate all of the B defenders out. I'll hold it solo. If they end up coming back to B, we can have some quick rotators. And the Lion's going to bring that AWP over after not really hearing or seeing too much utility to the A bomb site. Dignitas once again going in for the B site execution.
All 4 players set up here. Galil traded for the AK. The Get Right had dropped. Exist now has that weapon in his back pocket. And now to use it to get the entries here. Nickelback with his own AK. Sees one. Spray goes awkward against Exist. 20 seconds though. Alliance going to provide some support with the flashbang utility coming through. Nickelback going to get pressured out here, but still holds bomb site control. Gets Freiburg. Gets damage on towards Exist. He may go down to the hands of Crizzen. Bomb plant just barely going to come through here. Nades up against Holzuk. Smokes down to try and counteract that in the incendiary. And Forest left alone in a 1-on-4. Damage done towards him, still facing, trying to catch Crizzen. Not going to happen though. WINSTRIKE with 13. And the CTs still clinging on to life here.
Okay, WINSTRIKE, they are playing with pretty much no pressure, Jay. Their backs are against the wall, and they'll know they're up against an eco. There is no way that Dignitas can force the issue here. Eco to get a buy up into round 30. How far can WINSTRIKE bring this back, though? You've got to think for Dignitas, they probably used 2 or 3 tacticals, I want to say, in this last map of Train. So there is an opportunity to use one going into round 30. A little bit of an investment. Upgraded pistols, a fair bit of utility, even some Kevlar for them to work with. A WINSTRIKE just holding on.
They are looking to the 4 rifles. This round is a no concern to them. Fast rush in, nades up, damage done to Holzerk and get right. Bondic finds 2 frags. Lucky turns on towards Forest. Lucky is traded back though by the Deagles. Exist down on 3 points of health. Get right dead. Exist last player standing. Tech 9 versus everything. And Bondic will close out the round 15-14. And round 30, we go the distance. WINSTRIKE, their opportunity to take us to overtime. They've got a full buy-in for this one. AWP for Holzerk can get dropped off. Or will he take it straight through to this one? I think he's going to rock the AWP for this next round.
AWP and M4 on the ground. So an opportunity for the secondary AWP of Lucky to maybe pick up the AWP, or the M4, I should say, a little bit later if he wants to. And DIGNITAS, early utility to the outer bomb side. Very fast Brown Hall's control. Could this be a Russian to beat?
Oh my god, it is, and it's all gonna go back and forth. Freiburg makes 3 kills happen, and Bondic left towards connector, smokes down to counteract the Molotov coming through, cross-locked by Holzerk on the AWP, and DIGNITAS put everything behind speed, everything behind a rush B, and Lackey is in a 1-on-3 to somehow, some way clutch this for WINSTRIKE. It'll be magical if he can